On the Summer of Nolan, we cover Tenet, backwards and forwards. This episode, if you play it in reverse, will make just as much sense as it does when you play it forwards. And we go through the history of Tenet, tell you all about where this movie came from, tell you the saga of this movie through COVID and Christopher Nolan's very bitter breakup with Warner Brothers Pictures. Then we go through the movie itself, try to make some damn sense of this movie. And if that's the only part you're interested in, if you don't care about the history stuff, skip to the timestamp you see on your screen right now and enjoy Lacey and I discussing, reviewing, and analyzing Tenet.
I'm trapped in space, or in a dream, or in a hole. I can't do anything. My wife is dead. It wasn't me. I'm on a beach, and I can't ever leave. I built a bomb, a Batman bomb. What have I done? Turns out the bomb is me. Soaking up the sun with Christopher. Enjoying surfing sand with Christopher. Licking up our time with my friend Christopher. You know it's Christopher.
Hello and welcome to the Summer of Nolan on 1 Week Rental. I am Matt Stokes.
Can I talk now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Lacey Roth.
All right, what were you saying?
Okay. That I'm going to do a Tenet with this episode, which is to say that I don't know what my future self feels about this movie because my present self has not watched 40 minutes of the end of this movie. And I feel fully prepared to comment on it because I feel like my future self will help my present self. And this is because of the love of this movie that I'm doing it this way.
But what's interesting is that's kind of...
I'm doing love.
Okay.
Are you going to say I'm not?
No, you're
Present
doing love.
Matt doesn't understand.
That's what we're always doing when you think about
I'm doing
it.
a love.
Movies are time travel. I don't know what the movie's going to be, but future me knows.
Yeah, and I don't know if future me is going to think of a movie later in the. See, I'm already confused.
All right, so this is one
I'm
week
doing a
rental.
Duffy.
We do a deep dive into a
What
different
did you-
movie every week, and on this during this summer of 2026, we are covering Christopher Nolan. We've reached the penultimate episode of the series. We are feeling very melancholy about soon leaving our friend Christopher behind. We've enjoyed our time in the surf and sand with Christopher. Lacey calls him Chris. Only one episode left, Oppenheimer after this, but we've reached Tenet.
Would you say we're going out with a bang?
I mean...
Most people would say it.
My favorite thing about Tenet is the idea that the future is currently pillaging the present because they've run out of stuff to pillage in the future. Totally get that. And absolutely, if we found out all these data centers are being built by the future, I would be like, yeah, that checks out. That makes sense. They've run out of water in the future, so they're just coming back to the past to raid our water to build AI data centers for nothing.
Wait, but if they're in the future and they know that they're out of water, why wouldn't they come back into our present to get rid of data centers?
Oh, no, the data centers must keep going.
Why? There's no water.
The law of thermodynamics. That's where the money is because it's the...
No, because the people are dead. They can't spend any money because of the lack of water.
There will always be people who need money. Wait, okay, listen.
There's always going to be people who need water.
There's a lot of future, okay?
Okay.
And there's always going to be people who are like, how can I get more money? And if the world economic system is a sofa and we're just looking for the change in the sofa cushions,
Got it.
AI is the last bit of change. And so they're like, we're going to wring as much out of this as we can. So we need all the water in the world, but we run out in the future. So we have to go into the past to get more water.
How do you set the Dunkirk? I'm assuming the turnstile is called a Dunkirk.
Yeah. The turnstiles in Tenet, they're called Dunkirks.
I think because he likes to reuse things. People.
Sure.
When you turn the Dunk, how do you set it to the right temperature? Time. How do you know where you're going? How do you know where it's spitting you back out? I should watch that other 40 minutes, maybe.
It literally just spits you back out 1 second earlier and then moves you, and then you move backwards through time.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
To change 1 second? No, to go as far back as you need to.
Yeah. It's a time travel movie, and Nolan's being annoying. He's like, I don't consider it a time travel movie.
But everybody else does.
There are time travel movies like Primer, where going back in time involves you having to wait the amount of time that you want to go back. You actually have to spend the amount of time. And I like that too.
I like that.
So the way all of our episodes are structured is we have a history segment where we take you through the making of the movie, and then we do a movie discussion segment. But we also have this sort of unspecific part at the beginning of the episode where we just kind of vomit all of our thoughts onto you.
Because we're supposed to save it for the cast. That's a tagline in our house. So we're not really talking it through, and I'm just sitting with it. And sometimes I'm like, that shit was fun. And other times it's just like, Matt. Blah, blah.
And so it all just comes out and we front load the front of the episode.
Yes.
So I guess Lacey said we should just call this the data dump section of the episode. So if you're not interested in the data dump, look in the episode description, see where the history segment
If you
starts.
do like me taking a dump on your chest, do listen. But it feels like a dump because it's unprocessed. These are not refined thoughts. These are just like without thinking it through, without knowing things I don't know, and processing it with someone else or even just with myself linearly. It's a dump. Thank you. So in this movie, there are 2 turnstiles, one in a Freeport and then
one in another Freeport.
Another Freeport, okay.
And then actually, and Lacey hasn't watched the end of this movie, and this is what I was going to say, is we record these episodes in 2 parts, so we're going to watch the movie again before we record our movie discussion.
For the first.
And there's a billion, when they're doing the big assault on the base, there's like a billion turnstiles that they have, that this military force of time travelers that we haven't seen until they just swing in like, hey, here we are, we're here to do some time travel, okay. They have tons of turnstiles. Anyway, only 2 that you have seen so far. What's your question?
Is that how you end your little stint? You like, I need to go back in time for just now. Just now I made a mistake. Well, it's yesterday. So I'm going to go all the way back through all of one day and yesterday. And then when I'm ready to come to now, you go through a turnstile?
Yeah, and then you'll have to live again, but live like twice the amount of time because you're starting from behind, you know? All right. Lacey seems like she hated Tenet.
Is that a question?
Do you care to comment?
Oh, God, no, I'm stupid. I need to just watch it all the way through. I'm aggravated with it. And maybe it's starting from an unfair set of
expectations.
Maybe I'm not the right audience, although like I've never felt like I wasn't the right audience for Nolan's stuff up until now. And learning about Nolan and reading the book Variations has made me appreciate even the movies I didn't like at first. Like I think I like Memento now. I always liked Following, but I didn't love Batman Begins. But I think everything else I've liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I speak fluent Nolan. Now, Nolan, oh, bitch, you're almost a goddamn palindrome. Oh, close. Nylon.
That's got to piss him off.
Ooh-wee. Should have named himself Race Car. So I remember being frustrated by this movie, being confused and feeling like I wasn't paying attention or something after, because of course I watched it when it was in theaters, but no, I watched it at home. Whenever you made me watch it, Matt, is when I watched it.
Okay.
Can we go back in time? You didn't correct me? No, because you'll just correct me again in the fucking future.
It's an important part of the story.
Great. Anyway, I remember I didn't have there wasn't the heart that I had been given so much of with Interstellar, and I don't even know how to put it into words what that is. I'm not a sappy twat. I just something to really care about to pull me through all the things I need to let go of or understand about the complications of the way he's telling the story. And that's also what kept me from enjoying Memento was like, I didn't care about any of these characters, any of them, including the main character. Like I felt like he was a slimy piece of shit. And so I had a hard time, like, if I'm going to do all this homework, I need to care about one of you motherfuckers. And with Following, I immediately liked the guy we started off with, the main man. I liked him right away, and I can't say why. I just did. I love Robert Pattinson. And even his charm isn't, like, really doing it for me in this movie. And I'd say the most charmed I am, and I don't know why I need charm, goddammit, I'm a simple person, is by Kate. Is her name Kate in real life? Cat.
Elizabeth Debicki.
Yeah, I really like her. She's Cat. I'm like, she mesmerizes me.
Yeah, I think here in Tenet we are seeing maybe my estimation of Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception has gone up even further, where I think you just need that anchor, that emotional anchor. Yes. And it's not like I'm not a sappy twat either, but whatever has kept this movie, whatever has I've never connected to this movie. And I've said this many times. There's three Nolan movies now that I saw so many times waiting for it to click for me.
Yes.
Finally, I'm going to see what everybody else sees. And it was Inception.
Okay, yeah.
It was Interstellar. And then during this podcast miniseries, it was The Dark Knight. And finally, something clicked for me. And I've seen Tenet 5 to 8 times now. Yeah. Waiting. Come on. Click for me. And I enjoy so much of it. And still, I feel like I'm not getting this. But last night's the first time where I felt like that's not my fault. I think Nolan is not doing something right here.
Yes, or he put it all on the shoulders of someone who wasn't able to necessarily carry something this distracting. It was really smart for him to base it in a very like familiar formula of a spy Bond movie. I picked up that right away. I understood where I was. I understand who these people are to the extent that I need to. But I find Bond movies much more simple, and there's less layers of like, and then this is a secret place, and then this is where they keep the secrets from the secret guy, and where this movie just kind of keeps going deep with secrets.
So many people love this movie. People I know and respect love this movie. Critics I know and respect love this movie, or critics I read love this movie. And then I think I'm just dumber than them. Like my eyes can't process the backwards that I'm watching. On a very basic cinematic level, I can't process the backwards shit. And in the last 20-minute big action spectacle, I check out entirely because I can't tell what the fuck's going on.
I also think there's a motion sickness aspect. I'm sorry to cut you off. It makes me dizzy. And so maybe someone with like where I almost can't look at some parts, maybe there's a hindrance for that.
Well, so if like Inception, it's about the experience of the disorientation of having to live in this world or of having to live in a backwards world, job well done, because I do feel disoriented,
Very much.
I'm not having fun. Otherwise, I think the movie's a blast. I think so much of it's fun. And we've said John David Washington, maybe not as good as someone like Leonardo DiCaprio at anchoring this insane world, but I still find him charming. And
it's very charming and very believable as a spy, he's very believable in the role he's in. It's just that if he's our shepherd, bringing us and like helping us let go of things that we're just not are meant for us to get, he can't do it. It might maybe switch it. Pattinson, but I didn't get to the last 40 minutes. So
I think it starts with a calculation. This is Denzel Washington's son, and we are supposed to think of like, okay, this is the guy at the beginning of his career. One day he'll be Denzel Washington. And the thing is, Christopher Nolan is obsessed with the filmmaker Tony Scott, one of my favorite directors, who made a ton of just like dad watching on the sofa movies that when he was alive, Tony Scott, people kind of dismissed as fluff. Now they look like masterpieces. One of them was Deja Vu, starring Denzel Washington.
I love Denzel Washington. There's not a movie that he can't carry for me. All different flavors of them too. I never got sick of him, and he just he'd make a movie like twice a year. It seemed like for a while there.
Sure.
So it's not fair to this guy that's his. How are you going to make two? You can't make two.
And when his son sounds exactly like him, doesn't look like him, but sounds these deliveries that sound exactly like him. But I mentioned Deja Vu because Deja Vu, when I revisited it earlier this year, and I thought, oh, Nolan. This is what Nolan wanted to make with Tenet. There's parts of that movie where he's like so excited by what that movie's doing, where you can like have a camera that looks back 4 days in the past, and like Denzel Washington's driving on the highway in the present, but looking in through a camera lens at what was going on 4 days ago on this highway. That's fucking cool.
I could grasp that real easy.
Denzel Washington carries that kind of scientific mumbo jumbo so easily.
He's got such a. It's not that his son doesn't have confidence. There's a lot of that, but there's this like stillness to Denzel. This like. You don't ever know when you're going to get like the big guy, the big voice or whatever, but he's mainly just this like, I don't understand. I don't know how to explain it except for that. Like it's confidence without looking confident. He just is. Mm-hmm. You're in steady hands. It's the way I feel with Morgan Freeman. It's the way I feel with, why can't I pull his name out of my ass right now? Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe. There's like, if he's going to be in a scene, I'm going to be in. And like, and I'm not going to be looking at the watch. He's just going to get me all the way through it. And I feel that way now about Michael Caine. I didn't have such a soft spot for Michael Caine, but like when he appears in these movies now, I'm like, oh, thank God, yeah.
Yeah, well, not thank God, like because the movie sucked, but it's like, well, I didn't really know where he's going to put him in there. And yeah, he's alive right now. I didn't know. I didn't know he was
still alive to this day.
Good for him.
Looking very frail in his one scene, the last scene of a Christopher Nolan movie he is in.
Oh.
Just wanted to front load a bunch of our thoughts because people love this. Some people love this movie. Some people hate this movie. We're very mixed on it, but I love a lot about it. I love thinking about it. I think I kind of feel about it the way I do about Dark Knight Rises is it's kind of a mess, but I like watching it. I like thinking about it in a very different way from Dark Knight Rises.
And I mean, it's like every other movie of his, I have been thinking about it, and it's not totally fair because I feel like it's so long. And it's not, the idea is interesting, but I think maybe it's too long to be keeping this complicated idea in my head. And it's frustrating to have to keep everything in my head for that long. And I know I'm not supposed to overthink it. I know the lady in the beginning that's like, it's more about instinct, don't overthink it. But I don't know that I have instincts for watching a movie with a concept I've never seen before. And there's so much exposition. So I feel like that's for me. These two characters don't make sense the way they're fucking talking to each other. All this is for me. And I don't know what to let go of.
The spy movie genre is very much about don't think about it, just feel it. It's about vibes. You don't have to understand the complicated machinations of the plot. And I think Nolan thinks that's true here, except there's this extremely other complicated layer that my brain is not processing. So I can't even enjoy this on the level of a spy movie.
Exactly. And I really do like spy movies. What I was going to say, I didn't finish my sentence. I'm not like a huge lover of Bond movies per se. I just like the most recent ones. And I love Mission Impossible movies and the Thomas Crown Affair. And I think I'm naming things about spies right now. So I perfectly love the genre. I love the man of mystery, or the man that like is just fucking does nothing wrong or is so good at what he does. I love all that shit. I love gadgets. I love that this movie doesn't have gadgets really, or like technology. It's more just like, we need resources. We need a guy with 4 trucks. We need an airplane. We need I like all of that. I'm following all of it. I know he worked with like a fucking, what do you call this? Not a physicist. Is it? Is that who I mean? Something mechanics. He worked with a scientist.
He worked with a scientist
who did give him like some like pointers on what he could say happens in a backwards world theoretically, and one of them was that air won't flow through inverted lungs. And it's like, that was the most distracted thing to me ever, because how is blood beating through an inverted heart? How is dick fucking inverted pussy? How is pee exiting inverted?
So yeah, pin
hole?
in that, because I think that that's something I want to return to.
Okay, so I like the other examples. The wind is at your back. The other things are physical. They're visually physical. Maybe because I don't look at lungs and understand how pulmonary stuff works. Maybe that makes a lot more sense to a doctor. But just, I don't know what ball to look at, and I'm tired. It's not fun. It's work. That is my problem.
Going to get now into the history segment of Tenet, tell you all about the history of where this movie came from and its legacy largely wrapped up with COVID. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/oneweekrental, where we've also covered Nolan movies like Insomnia, Dunkirk, and
The Odyssey.
The Odyssey, yes. And one more, The Odyssey, yes.
I'm never the remember man. I'm the trigger man.
Also have an episode on Nightmare on Elm Street 3 as a bonus. So sign up, $2 a month, get you 2 bonus episodes a month. Otherwise, if you're listening on the podcast, please subscribe on YouTube, get bonus content. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks. Hit like and subscribe. Let's talk history of Tenet. Lacey, I have 5 words for you. Sator, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, Rotas.
Stop it. These are all in the movie. Someone etched it on a man's door.
Let me now read from an article in the Telegraph from 2020 by Sam
Oh my God,
Lee.
it's the same backwards and forwards. All the way up it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me running.
And up and down.
No. Who discovered?
Quote, why Tenet? It's no accident. Embedded in this futuristic adventure is one of the oldest pieces of wordplay known to us. The word comes from the so-called Sator Square, a graffito of which survived in Pompeii, but which has also been found in ancient sites all over Europe.
No.
It's the central word of 5. The square is, you could say, one of the closest things the classical world had to a meme. And it's a source of fascination. Its translation from Latin is roughly, the sower arepo labors at the plow. But it's not the meaning of the phrase that has caused it to prove so fascinating. It's the arrangement of the letters. Sator arepo, tenet opera rhodos. The whole phrase is a perfect palindrome. That is, it reads the same backwards as it does forwards. And this one's even better than your common or garden palindrome because it also has 4-way symmetry. Arrange it in a square and you can read the letters up or down, backwards or forwards, and the same phrase emerges. End quote. So these squares date all the way back to ancient Rome.
I am erect.
You can find them all over Europe and the Middle East and Africa.
I want a shirt. I think I'd like a shirt, please.
Okay, we'll get you a skirt.
So that was a skirt. Give me a skirt.
It's a skirt. And scholarship has failed to reach consensus on what the purpose of these were. Were they just fun? Was it just like, this is neat? Or did they ward off magic spirits? Were they like, did they believe they have healing properties? They can't even reach consensus on, were these pagan? Were they Jewish? Were they Christian? Were they some combination of all of those? We don't know, but it's freaking cool.
Basically everywhere Latin exists, this existed, right? Because you need the, what is it called? The Arabic something alphabet. What do you call it that we use?
The Latin alphabet. The Latin alphabet or the Roman alphabet.
Oh, I'm thinking of like a calendar. That's what there's some other reason to use Arabic. I apologize. I love that there's a Latin word for all of it until you get to opera. Like you can, the blah, 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 plow, where they just go, I don't know, a repo.
Sower arepo labors at the plow.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Arepo. And it does stand out as the word that's not a word the most out of everything.
It sounds like a place name. Well, that's because Aleppo is a real place. But these are real squares, real fun thing from the ancient world. Okay.
Super
so
fun.
Who would like something like that? Only no one we can think of.
The original puzzle box man.
Christopher Nolan's into that. Also just into backwards shit. We saw Memento.
He's a backwards man.
He loves things going backwards. But the thing is, cinema. It's always about cinema, isn't it?
And symmetry. When
cinema started, as you can see in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula movie, they would just like have these magic show houses where they're like, and look, a little cartoon mouse and it's presented like it's a magic trick. But another thing you can do with magic is, wait a minute, I can make these images go backwards? Crazy. Huh. So this too fascinates Nolan. If we're talking about like what kind of time travel philosophy do you subscribe to? He really seems like it's a what happened. You don't change anything. There's no going back in time to change things. You're only going back in time to make what was always going to happen. That's what the thing in Interstellar. That's the thing here.
Yeah. A genie. That was a time travel word you taught me in the last episode.
Yeah, a genie is an object that seems to have no origin. Like if Taylor Swift went back in time to her earlier self and said, here, I wrote a song called Shake It Off. And she's like, that's great.
No, I got
and then recorded it. I'm telling people. And then it became a big hit. The question would then be, well, then where did Shake It Off come from? Where did it originate? And the answer is time.
Jesus.
Time exists all simultaneously. So effects don't have to come after causes.
Right.
They're happening simultaneously.
So as long as we figured out a way to get to the past, then we are affecting I have no reason to think that the reason I wore this green shirt today is because in the future I figured out how to get to the past and pick this out.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's all...
It's none of my business.
It all exists. Like. And Lacey just keeps saying the future's none of my business. And hey, I don't disagree. And someone in Tenet raises the like, but what about free will? And then someone else kind of just brushes it off. And Nolan, I think, thinks that's not interesting. And I agree with him.
I agree too.
I don't believe in free will.
I don't believe in free will either. Yeah, it's Washington that brings that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the very direct on the spectrum scientist that I love very much, the lady in the beginning.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, shut up. She reminds me of like the mammalian's nurturable woman because she's just like, let me just tell you about the fucking science here and you go away, get out of my room.
That is the actress Clémence Poésy in a very good one scene performance.
Yes.
Her whole life is just study all the things that are going to kill us all. Okay?
Right. But you have a cool room to store it. Give me a storage box and I'll give you organization. There's nothing that makes me want to organize more than a place to put shit.
So, yeah, we just keep finding more and more stuff, you know. Just keep running. So here we're going to read from the Nolan Variations by Tom Schoen. Quote, I remember when the first real good slow motion came into broadcasting. It was on the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. When they slowed it right down, I remember the hands of the gymnast going around on the parallel bars. You could see this happening so you could understand and see things you couldn't see before. You were looking at the world in a new way. And reverse imaging is one version of that. Slow motion is another version. Fast motion is another. Time-lapse photography, reverse photography. You're seeing a real thing, but it's showing you a world you couldn't see any other way.
Right.
There's no way before photography to see reverse imagery or even to imagine it exists. And that to me is what makes Tenet the absolute most cinematic film I have ever been able to put together. It can only exist because of the camera. End quote.
I can't argue with you, Christopher. I can't. I want to.
Starting with Memento, he's obsessed with a story can go backwards. And what will that do to the way the audience perceives it? The Prestige is hopping around in time and giving you different perspectives, but also biased perspectives and lying perspectives and all of it.
Your unreliable narrator mixed with reliable ones, but which one's the one?
So he's fascinated by the idea that the viewer's going to see a story, but see only portions. And only he, Nolan, the puppet master, knows the whole thing from front to back. He is kind of like the Kenneth Branagh character in Tenet, who's like, hey, tell me what happens in the situation, then I'll go back through the turnstile and I'll go in knowing everything that's going to happen so I can win the scenario.
That's some confidence, though. You could tell me, like, beat for beat what happens in a car chase, car wreck, bamboozle, switching a case off, touching a lock, and then you could tell me all of that. I have no confidence I'd be able to do that and remember it in reverse order.
Yeah, I'd still like hit the curb and go flying out of the windshield.
When do you need to tap the lock with your foot, and then when do you throw me the case that's empty, but then it's not empty?
But this whole thing of like he's using all of this to just get information that the rest of the world doesn't have yet. Like that's just being a rich person. Rich people get they get the memo of what's going to happen. The senators are like, oh, COVID's about to happen. Let me sell all my stock, or let me buy up stock in N95 masks or whatever.
I know he says his movies aren't political. They're just, he finds cool things. They fascinate him and they get stuck in his head. And so he puts them in his movies when he can, like the Freeport. Fuck you that these exist.
I know.
That oh, heaven forbid we make any fucking tax money to go to other people on your money. Like the loopholes they're able to achieve, and they're not transferring this painting to America. They're selling it to this Freeport, and this Freeport's selling it to that one and that one and that one, and then they're selling it back to you. Thank you. Now I don't need to pay any taxes. I've bought it here in America.
These are just these like barnacles that have grown onto capitalism, or like these. They don't serve any purpose. They don't create any value in the world or any good in the world.
No. We realize at an airport you're nowhere, so you can get perfume duty free. I don't get it.
As long as we all buy in on the same fiction.
Right. And
they're like, what are you talking about? We're not in a place. We're in Oslo, Norway. No. We're in the airport.
Right.
That's a liminal space. We're in back rooms.
Because maps have lines when there's land, but then no lines when there's water. Water is, you can't own it. You don't own it unless it's surrounded by land where no one, it's patrolled by its own fucking law and police force who got to get there on the boat. Just draw lines on the floor that's underneath the water.
He was so pleased when he found out about these Freeports, and he said, like, this is my Bond movie, and I bet if I could go back in time and tell Ian Fleming about this, he would love this and put this into a Bond movie.
He's not wrong.
He just must have not known about these.
It is fascinating, but because the movie has to do so much and get so much out and explain because there's this time travel component, I kind of feel like he wasted the Freeport thing. That's so fascinating to me that it exists, and it wasn't until listening to that part of the book that I really understood what a Freeport did. They try to tell you, Washington, I can't remember two names, so I have to just remember his one name. And he has a double name, doesn't he? Brandon, Joseph, whatever. And because he is constantly being quizzed by people and then giving exposition as the answers, I'm tuning in and out. Like, I'm like, okay, this is the third time in this movie, the movie's been on for 15 minutes, that he's had to rattle off some information about some shit he knows to prove he's a good spy. I don't know. I think the Freeport is way more interesting than what we really get to learn about it in the movies. So far, who knows what the other 40 minutes hold?
They're all about
Only
Freeports.
the future.
It's just people looking at art. Like, ooh. In Interstellar, he got really into the physics, into the science. And here in Tenet, he's really following it up. He worked with Kip Thorne again, but here he, as he said to the Sydney Morning Herald in 2020, quote, "I think the scientific method is the best tool we have for analyzing and understanding the world around us. I've been very inspired by working with great scientists like Kip Thorne, who I worked with on Interstellar, who also helped me out with some early analysis of the ideas I wanted to do with time and quantum physics on Tenet, although I promised him I wasn't going to bandy his name about as if this was some kind of scientific reality to Tenet. It's a very different kettle of fish to Interstellar," end quote. So it was like, we're just going to use science as sort of inspiration. We're not saying this is plausible.
Sure.
Now, I think he tried to make it too plausible. I think if you dumbed this down, the movie would work better.
Yes. I think you got to Interstellar this shit up. Well, it's hard because like Interstellar, I feel like I learned a lot watching Interstellar, but then it lets go at just the right time. And I'm like, I get it. We've reached the point of where we really don't know. So now like Nolan is just being an amazing little tiny filmmaker and making something that could be believable as a 5-dimensional world, or why we'd use it. That's fucking cool. That's the right time to pull the plug, flip the switch. This whole movie is interweaving plausible with implausible, and that is, my brain's like, let go, hold on, let go, hold on. And like, because Interstellar is hold on, let go. It's enjoyable.
I think a different filmmaker, like say Tony Scott, would be like, you're thinking too much into this, Chris, when he goes back.
Yeah.
This is fucking cool. He's going backwards. Damn.
Yes, just show me that.
You just need to do something fucking cool. So he's also developing another preoccupation, which is the world is going to end. We noted this all the way back in The Dark Knight Rises, continues into Interstellar, continues into Dunkirk, and here starts to really get familiar with nuclear technology as the engine of our destruction.
You want to know something?
All right.
He gets really caught up with this idea of the world ending when he becomes rich. He's not thinking about it in Memento or on the following, because I think he did the existential crisis thing of making money and went from someone who worries about money to someone who never has to think about it again. And when you reach the end of the game, you start to think about, well, now I'm going to die.
Yeah, so
the game's over.
So he relates a lot to Kenneth Branagh's character, who's like, well, I'm dying of cancer, so I might as well make the whole world end as soon as I'm dead, because the world does not exist without me.
There's something that happens to people who stop worrying about money, and it doesn't seem fun. That there's worrying, and there's like, it's still a factor in my life, and I'm saying, right, there's the sweet spot, and he went past it fast.
I also think it is because he has so much power. He has a degree of power that no other directors have.
But money and they're the same, love.
And that, I think, makes him start to think like, what if I had this power in other areas? What if I were I don't even know. What if I were the Joint Chiefs of Staff and I could order a nuclear strike?
I think he's just bummed out. I think, that hierarchy of needs thing, he's gone all the way up or down or however you maneuver it, and he's like, well, now they're just focusing on me never dying or everything being destroyed. Because like, I've got all the stuff I want. Now I just need to live forever, and hopefully no kind of thing where they take things from the rich happens, or like the world ends. As long as those 3 things don't happen, no dying, no stealing from the rich, no world ending. I can play with all of my stuff. He was comfortable. Yeah, but he did not have a comfortable life. He
grew up
financially comfortable, but had an uncomfortable life in a way. He was never settled. He was always going this way and that. I just think he never had any time to like rest. I still don't know that he has.
Well, he's also a dad, and all dads. I've talked about this before. When your baby is born, they're like, "Look, your beautiful baby," and suddenly you're like, "But you know what's really neat is submarines." And you start thinking about this kind of stuff. And then maybe you start doing some reading about the Cold War, and then you learn about all these very close nuclear scares, how many times the world came close to Armageddon. Then you start reading about Oppenheimer, and he starts to get really obsessed with Oppenheimer because he's got this natural storytelling brain that's like, there's a really interesting figure I can really dive into versus just sort of the idea of nuclear proliferation. But you start thinking about nuclear weapons and it really, really darkens everything. Suddenly it seems like, why isn't everybody constantly talking about this? That the world could so easily end at any moment, and we have just lived with that for 70 years.
Well, and that we are slowly introducing new cancer and more cancer to a bigger and bigger population at infinite. Like, it's just always compounding because of the nuclear waste that we have, even without using the weapons. There's whole populations we've killed before they were supposed to be dead because of just fucking around with uranium.
Yeah, and
this movie is about someone forced to fuck around with uranium.
Right. If we had ended nuclear testing in 1945, which we didn't, we continued to do it.
Yep.
The waste would still be here
25
poisoning us. And it's like, it's the sort of reverse Tenet. It's the past is still here to poison us versus the future sending poison back. We
weren't thinking generationally like Interstellar is trying to. We were thinking of right here, right now, we need to get through this moment, and this is the thing we're going to do. And the half-life of uranium is 25,000 years, and that's just for it to die half. That's for it to become half as potent, and it's still got 2 more quarters to go. You can't even think it. Like, we fucked ourselves. Then we're all downwind from uranium. There is nuclear waste in every state in the country, in every country on the planet, nearly.
With the nuclear bomb, you have the nuclear waste, and then you just have the destructive potential of the bombs. And we'll talk way more about this next week with Oppenheimer. But that movie ends with Oppenheimer being concerned that, like, this bomb we built right here, it's powerful, but what comes next is going to dwarf it in terms of how powerful it's going to be. And it will end the world. I don't know when it's going to end the world, but that's coming one day. Mm-hmm. And so when you start thinking about this, you just could get to a really dark place and think, I can't ever stop thinking about this. There's a point in history that he gets really fixated on, which is the end of the Soviet Union.
Are you saying Nolan does?
Nolan does.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That they talk about in this movie, the most dangerous time for nuclear weapons, because the Soviet Union had so many nuclear weapons, and there was this question, what's going to happen to them now? Who gets them? Russia gets most of them, but Ukraine gets some, and Belarus gets some, and are they going to end up on the black market? That kind of stuff. So he kind of builds that into the movie of this Kenneth Branagh character taking advantage of that moment.
Well, and the concept of how it could be a helpful thing to have the technology to undo the past, to go back and kill Oppenheimer or whatever. Someone was always going to make it is always the argument. But I think that, like, the idea of, like, knowledge is power, but also knowing things is also bad.
Knowing things is bad.
No, right. Like,
how can we get people to not know things?
Sure. I mean, and her knowledge of selling a fraudulent piece of art, right? Like, she can't unknow that. And it's what holds her to him, which is, it's such a flimsy thing to me. I don't know. It's like, who gives a shit?
I can make a Batman movie and it can make $2 billion and everyone thinks it's the greatest movie ever made.
Fucking hero movies.
And now this is the only thing Hollywood, the only thing I care about in the world, movies. The only thing the movie industry is interested in is superhero movies, copying what I did.
And I've doomed my best friend Robert Pattinson to also have to play a Batman, a poopy one.
Can I spend the rest of my life building a time machine to go back and stop myself from making Batman Begins?
Yeah, but then you'll have built a time machine, which is probably even more dangerous than it. That's the whole, like, there's no undoing it. The toothpaste will kill us all outside of the tube.
He also starts to get obsessed with Soviet architecture and this sort of parallel world he didn't know about, the hidden Soviet cities. And most of this movie does take place in it takes place in Estonia and Ukraine and Russia, and he's concrete, invigorated by this brutalist architecture.
When I found out that fucking opera house with the closing concrete walls was real, and that they fluffed it up to make it work again, it'd just been sitting.
Yeah,
that was brave. 500 extras in there.
In real life, it's in Estonia. In the movie, they say it's in Ukraine.
But it's just so cool. Like, was it for acoustics? Why close the walls? They didn't like people going pee while they're performing.
So he's getting obsessed with Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is mentioned in this movie. Not only is he mentioned, but the thing that the character Priya says about him, that Oppenheimer became convinced that by doing the nuclear test, they might set off a chain reaction that would destroy the world. That's how Oppenheimer, the movie, ends with the world. So it's like, this is what it's all about for him. I'm going to read from the Nolan variations. Quote, Oppenheimer is a perfect intellectual foil for Nolan. Tall, thin, highly strung, with an air of the aristocratic bordering on arrogant, he was in the days following the Hiroshima and Nagasaki blasts a nervous wreck. He smoked constantly, said Dorothy McGibbon, the office manager at the Los Alamos laboratory of the Manhattan Project. One day, noticing that Oppenheimer seemed particularly distressed, his secretary, Ann Wilson, asked him what was wrong. He replied, I just keep thinking about those poor little people. On November 25th, 2 years after the Nagasaki bomb incinerated nearly 80,000 people, Oppenheimer gave a public lecture entitled Physics in the Contemporary World at MIT, in which he said, in some sort of crude sense, which no vulgarity, no humor, no overstatement can quite extinguish, the physicists have known sin, and this is a knowledge which they cannot lose. It is among those included in an anthology of speeches Oppenheimer gave after the war, threading the needle of his ambivalence about nuclear technology, which Robert Pattinson gave to Nolan as a gift at the film's wrap party, the wrap party of Tenet. End quote. That is another thing that I find fascinating about this movie, is all about, like, can we put the toothpaste back in the tube? That's what this whole organization is devoted to doing. Tenet.
But the movie also answers the question, which is that the way to put it back in the tube is also just squeezing something else out of a tube and creating a technology even worse.
Yeah.
So the answer is no.
No, you
but
can't.
You're gonna, but you gotta do something, in the famous words of Matt. So they just keep fucking being smart and thinking of different ways to destroy the Earth.
Got to do something, though. Yeah. So casting this movie. John David Washington playing the protagonist, not even given a name, just I'm the protagonist.
Pretty cool name, to be honest.
John David Washington, the son of Denzel Washington, was 35 years old at the time of filming. He was briefly a pro football player, star of Ballers with The Rock, in Spike Lee's Black Klansman. Christopher Nolan met him at a screening of Black Klansman at the Cannes Film Festival. Spike Lee invited him, and he said, quote, it was kind of tense with Spike right behind me, but seeing John David up on the big screen playing a leading man, it felt meant to be. I don't think of actors when I'm writing. You've got to write the character the way you think. But what happens is, every now and again, usually just in one scene, they just intrude. The actor puts himself in there. In this case, it was actually the scene that he plays with Michael Caine at the Members Only Club in London. At some point, John David just stuck himself in that scene, and I couldn't get rid of him. End quote. I mean, certainly seems notable. This is his first black protagonist, first black lead.
And I thought it was kind of a commentary on how there's no black Bonds and there's always a big deal about it. That's what I thought he was doing. But then I was like, no, this is Christopher Nolan. Nolan doesn't get into the politics. But he wants to make a Bond film, and he did, and he had a black lead.
Yeah.
Whether he wanted to do it politically or not.
There's this element of class where, like, this guy's good at fitting in the world of the ultra wealthy, but they keep pointing out, like, hey, you're getting it a little bit wrong, kid.
He doesn't have pedigree. He's corrected on not knowing who's knighted. So sorry. This random guy's a knight. I didn't fucking know. Sir Michael.
Well, like, James Bond is an orphan who was basically adopted by the state, and I think Christopher Nolan, who gets to move in these elite circles, probably thinks, like, James Bond would not be able to fit in. Like, they just have this telepathy. They can smell it on you.
Yeah. Well, and the exact kind of person that needs to be a spy is a person with no people. And if there's an antithesis to that, it's royalty. They're just people. They're just having people. They're all about their lineage. An orphan literally has no lineage.
Yeah. So this guy, who is the son of Hollywood royalty, but in trying to infiltrate the very white, rich, upper crust British world, getting it pretty close to right, but people can still smell it on him. You're not dressed exactly right.
When he makes fun of a Brooks Brothers suit, my soul hurts. I'm like, I thought that was the fancy kind.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, fuck. Armani? What are we doing?
When I went to a lawyer's conference and somebody made a joke about, and they're in a Men's Warehouse suit, and I'm like, well, I'm in a Men's Warehouse.
And that was expensive.
Yeah.
We spent $400 getting a couple suits.
Spent hundreds of dollars on this. This performance is really, really difficult. Nolan said, quote, John David had to learn how to fight 4 different ways. He had to be able to fight as the protagonist. He had to be able to fight as the antagonist. He had to be able to fight as the protagonist backward. He had to be able to fight as the antagonist backward. Very, very complicated. What I didn't want to do was shoot it with John David as a protagonist, then as the antagonist, and just mix and match shots. The number one rule we realized is you can't steal a shot from one scene and reverse it. It won't work.
Yeah.
Weirdly, almost everything was done in camera. So he really is fighting someone backwards. Someone is choreographed to move backwards. And then he is choreographed to move backwards.
That is fucking wild. And the flips are particularly really cool because they go a little too fast in a certain direction. Like they're supposed to be, a flip is what, like the fastest at the beginning, and then it you kind of have some airtime. So, but a backwards flip is like airtime fast. And that's how you can tell something's not quite right with this flip, but it looks really cool.
Yeah. He loved Robert Pattinson from The Lost City of Z. And he hired Robert Pattinson, and Pattinson said he modeled some of his performance off of Christopher Hitchens, just being a sort of snooty bitch. Emma Thomas was a big champion for Elizabeth Debicki for Cat. Nolan had only ever seen her in the movie Widows. That's the movie that put her on the map, but it's a very different character from Cat. And then Kenneth Branagh had played a Russian oligarch in a Jack Ryan movie that he had directed. Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit from 2014, a terrible, terrible movie. But Nolan's like, at least he can do the voice.
There's no one else that can. I mean, I think he's good. But
Nolan said, quote, Ken had to dig very deep for the characterization because he kept wanting to find the poetry in Sator. And I kept saying, no, he's a brute. End quote.
Just be a meanie.
I've heard a lot of people make fun of this performance. I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I think it's completely believable. There is nothing wrong with it. I like that it's kind of everyday. I like that he's kind of the gangster from Dark Knight. Like, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. This guy is a guy that would find some technology and just use it to be a fucking meanie. I don't need a mastermind. I need a person who doesn't care about other people.
I think people think like, okay, this Borat voice you're putting on,
That's a voice.
Yeah.
People sound like that.
This is Nolan's first time working with Himesh Patel, who comes back later for a big role in The Odyssey. And he brings back Martin Donovan for the first time since Insomnia 18 years earlier. He's the guy who tells John David Washington at the beginning, I only have a word for you, Tenet. Open some doors for you. And this is his last time working with Michael Caine. Playing a character named Sir Michael, and John David Washington says to him, like, farewell, Sir Michael, or whatever. So it's like
Isn't
his
he
goodbye
knighted?
to... I don't know if Michael Caine...
I think so. I mean, if they're going to knight the two guys from Spider-Man, I mean, X-Men.
Yes.
I mean, I figured, but it seemed is like one of those Princess Leia moments where like they really get on his face, Sir Michael, like
yeah, you're right.
It was goodbye, Leia, dead lady.
R.I.P. Leia. This was an enormous production, went all around the world. California.
Wow.
Estonia, Norway, Denmark, Italy, India, England. This is also when he starts working with some new collaborators. He's cycling out some of the old crew. Lee Smith, the editor, gone, replaced with Jennifer Lame.
And a different composer.
First time not working with Hans Zimmer, replaced with Ludwig Göransson.
There's something spicy about that. Oh, I love the score in this movie. What does that mean? Like, you've literally worked with me for over half your career, and then I'm just going to go a different way.
I think...
Ouch.
Well, I think that you could certainly say, like, part of being an artist is I need to collaborate with new people to find new directions. I don't want to get stale.
Okay, but like Hans Zimmer's the entire middle chunk. So, I don't know. I think he maybe just had a bad taste in his mouth for how long it took to find the right... No. He had a really good experience with Interstellar finding the score. It was Dark Knight Rises. That was hard.
And they worked together on Dunkirk, but then that was it. They haven't worked together since. And this is his last movie with the production designer Nathan Crowley. So he is out with the old, in with the nucleus.
He needed very specific things here, though. Nucleus, shut up. He needed someone that understood brutalism, right? And he needed somebody. The sound part, I get mixing that up. I mean, he is so motivated by the right sounds for his movies that I could see him needing that to like help him have the energy or even some direction to do such a complicated story.
I just think that's the thing you find bands doing. They work with the same producer for a long time, and then they decide, not because we don't like the old producer, but we need somebody who's going to bring something different out of us.
There's a moment where you're like, I have cobwebs and I need to shake them off. But then before that, you're like, this was such a groove. That last project was so good. You're on a roll. But at some point, the roll becomes cobwebs.
But the movie's biggest legacy is COVID-19.
Is it?
Warner Brothers had a nearly year-long marketing campaign for this movie. Teaser trailer released the previous summer before Hobbs and Shaw. They did the thing where they played the IMAX prologue of this movie, the Opera House sequence before Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Well, they had all the masks in the movie, so that was good.
Just ready to go, yeah. They were betting this is going to be huge. Now, I'm curious, how big of a hit would this have been in a non-COVID world? Because it's a kind of an off-putting movie. Warner Brothers they were betting this would be huge. This is going to be Inception again. In fact, people speculated this is a secret sequel to Inception.
Gross.
That it looks like it looks kind of Inception-y.
I could see you thinking it from the previews. Yes.
Release date of July 2020, but then that pesky coronavirus hit. The last major movie release in America was Onward in March of 2020. I have here the weekend charts from Box Office Mojo of that year, where you go March 13th, there's the $53 million in ticket sales. Next weekend, March 20th, $4,160 in ticket sales. And I remember I took our kid to see Onward that weekend. It was creepy as hell. The movie theater smelled like Clorox or whatever. There was no one there. And we saw Onward and it was like, oh, that maybe was my first feeling like, oh, maybe this is a real thing, this COVID thing.
Yeah, I know it like came to us slowly, just different experiences at different places where we're like, we shouldn't be outside right now. Like, I mean, I shouldn't be in this store right. I was still penny shopping, I think, that for freaking the Dollar General, and it was such like an addictive thing that we were getting into the times where we should not be in sharing spaces in stores without needing to. And I remember penny shopping and being like, what am I doing? I just got 50 packs of paper plates with American flags on them and I might die for it.
It was like during the week. So Onward is March 13th. I think maybe like March 17th was when they just like all the announcements are like, yeah, world's over. No more stuff anymore, you guys. But so Warner Brothers is like, no problem.
Except for gardening. Look out, Office, Home Depot, whatever.
Well, it just stinks that like there's so much bad information back then that they could have told everybody like, outside is fine, and you see friends just stand kind of far apart and you'll be fine. And like that would have saved people like so much just cabin fever,
so much domestic abuse, so much suicide.
like your friend can come over and just put chairs kind of 10 feet apart and talk to each other in your backyard. But they didn't know shit like that, or they just weren't telling us,
or they knew people are people and they're going to hug each other, they're going to end up touching things.
So Warner Brothers is like, no problem. We're going to postpone the release of Tenet 2 weeks. It's going to come out in August 2020. And at the same time, Warner Brothers is completing its merger with Discovery. New CEO David Zaslav emerges as this major new Hollywood villain. And Warner Brothers is launching its streaming service, HBO Max. And they want to have Tenet debut there. And Nolan says, no fucking way. This movie's meant to be seen on a big screen. A big screen.
It was all shot in IMAX?
A lot of it was shot in IMAX.
And in those locations with that heavy kind of 100-pound fucking camera, you want that IMAX scene.
Yes.
Well, and the vast landscapes of moments. The rest of the time, he wants it to feel small. I am understanding Nolan. I do speak Nolan. Why can't
he has come under some criticism for insisting the movie open in theaters. They negotiated, and Warner Brothers agreed to open the movie overseas in countries where COVID had been handled a lot better. And then in September of 2020, it opens in select theaters in the United States with extreme COVID protocols.
Bring back the drive-in, y'all.
And it ends up becoming the highest grossing movie of the COVID era, $365 million worldwide, which is shockingly good.
Wow.
But really, how would this have played in a non-COVID?
You can't really compare it because so many movies decided to do a different kind of premiere and didn't. Like, I mean, the competition just wasn't there, or you can't say what it would have been had regular movies also been making regular decisions as to when to release.
If there were no COVID though at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that then he would just be in a regular world where he's releasing with all the movies that would have released at the time and had more competition. Instead, he's releasing in a COVID world and acting as though there's not any COVID, where the other movies are like, no, maybe we should premiere on streaming. And you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I'm just saying, like Interstellar, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, huge, enormous hits. Would this movie have been a big hit like those?
I'm sure it would have been a hit, but probably not as big. I think there's other things that would have come out. And just what were your choices at the same time the Tenet was out?
Like the Fast and the Furious. I'm sure there would have been a Marvel movie, Black Widow or something.
And these had all had theatrical.
There all would have been theatrical releases, but like this, every time there's a Nolan movie, it gets like 3 weeks as the big centerpiece tentpole movie.
Yeah, I mean, he was on such a run. I think everyone's going to go try it. What I don't know that you're going to get are the rewatches.
Yeah, and it's just not crowd pleasing in the way that
it's not.
Interstellar or Inception is.
And you're going into it knowing you're not going to have fun, but you are going to try to figure it out again. So if you go for a second time, you're almost aggravated.
Here we have this picture of Tom Cruise who went to see it in London in a theater, and he made a big famous social media post where he films himself wearing a mask and being like, "Great to be back at the movie theater."
Wow, famous.
Talks to people it was charming, but he was like,
"Gonna go to the ravioli store after this."
Even more than Nolan, he's like, movie theaters are the only thing that matter. We have to keep them open.
I love that.
After all that, and we will tell more of this story next week, was Nolan's divorce from Warner Brothers. They were the only.
God, I was like, what, Emma? They got a divorce, Matt? When were you going to tell me?
He divorced the Warner Brothers, Yakko, Wacko, and their sister Dot. He'd only made movies for them. But when they announced that in 2021, all of their movies would be opening in theaters, but also opening on HBO Max at the same time.
Fuck that.
Nolan led the charge against that.
It is stupid. You're just kissing your sister at that point. A tie. Who wants to split a box office and then the other part's a mystery? It was because, right, he wouldn't have known really how his movie did if he would have kept it behind a streaming service.
Yeah, aside from just love for the theaters, this created all kinds of legal issues because producers and stars and directors had profit participation for box office, so they're like,
right. Yeah, but like all streaming services can even just keep numbers. They can just say this is number one in the country, but you can't prove it. But like at least with the kind of release he would have had, you paid $20 for it, right? At least there's like money that marks it, kind of like pay-per-view.
If they did it for Tenet,
that kind of release they're talking about was the $20 one, right?
I don't remember if they were talking about that or if they were just saying it's just going to open on HBO Max.
Yeah, I guess I can't really imagine HBO charging money for it when they're already charging HBO prices. But like,
because what they did the next year was every movie, you didn't have to pay extra for it. It's just like Godzilla vs. Kong, you can watch on HBO Max and it's also in theaters. And I remember seeing The Matrix Resurrections in theaters, and there was like 40 minutes left, and I was like, and I just left and watched the rest at home because I had to like.
I could be jerking off while watching.
I felt like jerking off,
pulling on the old.
Pud. The reaction to this movie was kind of mixed. Now, as we see, it has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people were like, yeah, it's good. Kind of confusing, though. But there were some actually really negative reviews.
Well, you never asked me what category this is in for me, of my two Nolan categories.
A stupid movie for smart people or smart movie for stupid people? What do we got?
Long movie for smart people.
Okay.
And I mean it in the sense that it feels long because it's work.
Here's Michael McCahill from IndieWire. He said, quote, "What kind of picture is this? It's big, certainly, IMAX scaled, and a hefty 150 minutes, even after a visibly ruthless edit. It's clever, too. Yes, the palindromatic title has some narrative correlation, albeit in an exhausting, rather joyless way. As Second Comings go, Tenet is like witnessing a Sermon on the Mount preached by a savior who speaks exclusively in dour, drawn-out riddles. Any awe is flattened by follow-up questions." End quote. Because when he was reviewing that, it was like, this movie was positioned as this movie can save cinema. And critics went to see it and they're like,
break it.
Not this movie.
No. Like even the heart that is forced through it. Well, number one, we never meet Max, so I don't care about that kid so much. I believe that she really wants her kid. But then they build this kind of thing that's between the two of them, right? Why are you risking the world's safety for this one woman? He got a connection to her so quickly.
I don't feel it.
It's forced. It did I don't know why it's there. I think it's there to help us get pulled through because you need a love interest or like I wonder what this is. The heart. And it's like, I'm not fucking buying this shit. But Robert Pattinson's next to her more than he is.
Yeah, the heart for me is only, and you haven't seen this part yet, and it's barely there, but it's Robert Pattinson announcing, "I'm from the future. You and I are best friends in the future."
Oh, I got goosebumps.
But you don't know it yet. And that idea of like, oh, we have a very profound relationship. We just haven't started it yet. I love that.
Here's what I would make me care about that. How much of that does Robert Pattinson know?
He knows all of it.
But why?
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why doesn't Washington know all of it if Pattinson can, like, and why isn't he wearing a snorkel and what the fuck?
Presumably he had to spend a long time in a chamber going way, way, way back in time so he can do all of this. I don't know. We'll explore all of that in our movie discussion of Tenet. Looking forward to that. Sator, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, Rotas.
You did it.
So I've now watched the movie again, and this is definitely the most I've ever understood it. The question is, does it make me like it more?
Do you want to talk to Future Lacey, who has seen the other 40 minutes of the movie?
Let's hear from her.
Okay. Hey, it didn't get better. It didn't get better. If it's a movie where you have to just let go and don't try not to be all in the weeds, then don't give me so much weeds to whack, and make it fun. If it's a ride of a movie, I should be like, woo, and I'm just like,
I think that's the fundamental thing that doesn't work is you can't let go. Whereas I think with Inception, you actually could be like, I don't know what's happening, but this is pretty cool what they're doing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he's running around in the hallways, turning all stuff. I don't get it, but it's fun.
And the difference is you're following a lot of good actors' emotions. And I'm not saying that Washington is not a good actor. The kind of actor he is, we already said he can't emote. The only thing to override science in a science movie is the emotion of the character, or the way the character is responding to the things. And because he is a spy, that character is written to be very flat, unemotional, unattached. You can't have attachments. In fact, those are liabilities. So, like, you pick the wrong genre if you're trying to move us along through the science with emotion.
I don't know that it's just that, though, because like when you're watching Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I don't care about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I can follow the action on screen in Inception, and just in a fundamental like language of cinema way, the final 20 minutes at Stalsk 12 when they're when you got 4 different people moving at 4 different temporalities, I just can't follow it and I check out. But I think it's cutting with this stuff on the yacht between Elizabeth Debicki and Kenneth Branagh, and that stuff's really good.
And reminds me of Inception in the way that we're cutting back and forth between the 3 temporalities, or 4. That's probably the best stuff, is the boat stuff. Is her. I anytime she's in it, she's so good. Everything's on her face. I'm responding the way she's responding. She's enough of a novice to like be interacting with this information the way that we are, and not trying to over explain it. She's just like, fucking just give me the mask. I'll just do it. Just give me the mask.
And we've talked in the past about, does a movie, is it a flaw of a movie if you can only enjoy it once you've seen it multiple times? And like, I don't want to live in a world where you can't have movies like that. Like music, there could be like really, really complicated songs where you have to listen to it a lot, and then suddenly it clicks and you get like, oh, I hear sort of the pop melody beneath all the complicated stuff.
Totally.
It just has never happened for me with Tenet, and I still like so much that's going on. And this time, really paying attention and typing down all my notes as it went. I was starting to understand stuff I had never understood before, but my enjoyment is still not going up.
It's still right. There's still something that's not transcending the complication of it. Even once it clicks, and we were sensing that when there's a powerful story narrative or a compelling any one component that's just really fucking compelling, you start to enjoy it. And I can't even.
This movie has dozens of moments where I'm like, I'm pumping my fist. I'm really excited. So I don't want that to deter anybody who's annoyed that we're not so celebratory about this movie, or that we're also not the podcast who are going to be like, if you don't understand Tenet, here's how we're going to make it make sense.
Yeah, that's not us, boo boo.
Well, there's movies I can sort of do that with, but on a more thematic level. Here, I'm thinking like, I certainly get, all right, well, years and years and years ago, we did an episode on Back to the Future Part 2, wherein in that movie they time travel into the first movie. And you and I were talking about it and realized if this were possible, if it's possible for a future you to travel into your own life, then you should just assume future selves are everywhere. That everything that happens in your life is the result of somebody
you lose your
tinkering
keys,
from the future. Yeah.
Future self.
And I think Tenet is kind of like the serious version of that movie, where every single thing is a thing from the future.
And I feel like we even said this on that episode, but anytime someone's covering their face, because the thing about the future self is they know they're the future self and they need to hide from you. So anyone is being incognito at all, or wearing a hat or a hoodie, you've turned me into this, I'm going to be like, ah!
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
And so there's things that improve, like Robert Pattinson's performance, when you know everything that he's saying to John David Washington, he already knows what he's going to say, and he has to pretend that he doesn't know things, and he has to hide that he's not in love with this man, and maybe even in deep sexual longing for this man.
We'll see, and it would be more to me, unless I'm still not totally getting it, but the most I love Washington's acting is when he is red-eyed and teary-eyed when he realizes he's saying goodbye to his best friend, but Pattinson isn't. And so then I'm like, wait, but Pattinson also asked, am I still the fastest person to unlock a blah blah blah, and the other guy's like, I know no faster locksmith. Well, that was the whole way that worked out at the end. Does that mean that these guys are reliving the same thing over and over and over again? Like, they have to keep making sure?
I think so. I think they're in some sort of time loop where he has to keep dying, like Hugh Jackman in The Prestige.
But he doesn't die.
He does die. Neil dies.
Oh.
Neil at the end knows he's going down there to die. That he's the guy who, we'll just talk about it when we get to that part of the scene.
Yeah.
But he's like lived his life so much in reverse that it's not sad for him to reach the end of his life because he's already lived his life.
I thought maybe it wasn't sad for him because he's just going to see him again.
Then I think there's also a way to read it that, yeah, he will be stuck in this loop again and again and again and again.
And they'll start
And then
over
I even
again.
thought, is all of this just one giant loop, and they're the ones who hit all the shit, and then more people are going to come and they're going to take the stuff from them and hide it, and then people are going to, because if you can go back in time, there's like this metaphor of like, if you close your eyes and you go into a room full of hats, and you're told there's 100 hats in there, 99 are blue and 1 is red. All right, reach out and grab a hat. What color do you think it is? You should logically say
blue.
Yeah. And so it's like, if people can travel back from the past, from the future, then you should assume everyone is from the future. So this mission can just happen again and again and again, and every generation can take their own stab at it.
But they went fine.
I don't know.
They did it.
Yeah, I guess they did. Maybe there's no people from the present. Let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
Opens at an opera house, and we're getting in tune. Nolan is a conductor, you know? He's the conductor up on stage. Let me tune up all...
He wants to die.
Tune
He's
up
got
the
a
instruments, please.
Death wish, because he's the first one down.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't know what the opera scene's for. I still don't know.
I can tell you. I think I can tell you, but...
I do love the juxtaposition of the really ugly... I mean, it just is that much concrete, that much dirty concrete. The exterior of the building compared to the interiors is shocking.
Yeah, those Soviets, man, and their architecture.
But what are they doing? They're saving the good stuff for the inside. They don't want people flying over seeing all their good stuff. They want everything to look hard and like maybe this is a military. That maybe there's missiles in here. You flyovers.
I'm no expert on brutalist architecture. I know it's rooted in like efficiency. I don't know. But boy, this seems like a popular opera. All these people so excited to go to the opera. Wow, the opera. Or maybe it's not an opera.
Men, women, and children.
Actually, it's just like just an orchestra. And maybe they're just going to play Christmas songs.
Yeah, it's not
for all we know.
An opera. I mean, if anything, it's an
opera house, and they keep referring to this as the opera siege.
I know.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, maybe Nolan doesn't know that he made a mistake and put an orchestra in here instead of a fucking opera. It's just, I mean, I know you can call this kind of facility an opera.
This opera house really is in Tallinn, Estonia, though they're saying this is in Kiev, Ukraine. The movie mostly takes place in...
It is immediately like, because you know the composer is the most important person on the stage, like because of the hierarchy, and we all understand it. So just the symbolism of him getting shot in the chest immediately is like, that's the guy. He's important.
And then what I love is these thugs like smash the oboes. And like,
yeah, what is okay, please tell me. Why is this?
All right, so we got this opera house, and outside we have a sort of SWAT van, and it's confusing because soon they are joined by other SWAT vans, but this SWAT van is our hero, John David Washington. Presumably he's with the CIA or with some JSOC organization, but it's just he's working for an intelligence operation.
He's actually doing a test. He doesn't know he's being tested.
Right. And the people who are in front of the van know that something's about to go down and are like, all right, it's happening. Wake up the Americans. And it seems like John David Washington might be asleep. They're like, hey, man, get out there. And they give him some patches so that they can fit in with the Ukrainian like SWAT team that is now arriving. And they all go in. And so these bad guys, these terrorists are taking over the opera and hitting the conductor and smashing the oboe and like ripping pages of sheet music off of the stand. And then there's this guy in a luxury box. He's got the security detail. They're like, don't worry. We got it. We've got guns and stuff. Okay. But this guy presumably is an intelligence asset that John David Washington has to go extract from the building, which he does. And he's like, ooh, we also got to get my package. It's at the coat check. And they go get the package. And inside is what he later thinks is plutonium. And then even later learns is actually a piece of the algorithm.
Right. Oh, okay. That was the point of this mission. I lost track of that. Is to get the 8th piece or 9, whatever it was.
The 9th piece, yeah. Just in terms of filmmaking, I mean, did you find this exciting? It's very reminiscent of the Dark Knight opening.
It's not fair to because like I think this is going somewhere, and I'm like, ooh, this is like trap. Ooh, stuff is happening in a big fucking auditorium or whatever. And I was fully ready to enjoy the whole movie. So I'm like, I'm paying attention. So was this enjoyable? Only in such a way that I thought it was leading to somewhere. I like the idea of a whole bunch of people passed out, like hundreds of people. And it's nice that they're passed out and not dead, but you got to step on them. You being around them is leading people to put bullets near them. Like, it's just interesting to use a whole bunch of extras as part of the set
thing where they have all the bad guys have put all these bombs in the crowd, and John David Washington is the protagonist. It's annoying that he doesn't have a name. Mm-hmm. His teammates are like, let him go off. They're not our assignment. And he says no. And that's supposed to signal to you, the audience, right away. Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He cares about innocent lives being lost. And he goes and gets the bombs and then chucks them into the luxury boxes up ahead. And you see a really great practical explosion. And it is cool that the hundreds and hundreds of extras are beneath what is presumably an explosion really happening, a controlled explosion, but they're all passed out. But then it cuts so quickly and you think, it would be cool to just watch them not react for even longer, but I guess you can't actually do that.
Like the scene in It, whenever they're in the library and only we can see the balloons of blood popping in front of them.
Right. Then you'd have to do it CGI. Then you'd have to do it in post because you can't actually make extras not react to a
explosion.
To an explosion, yeah.
But the explosion doesn't have to be real.
It's real in a sense. It's like when you go to Disney World and they show you controlled explosions, and they're still going to feel heat. He gets his team out and he gets the guy out, the intelligence asset, but then he himself gets captured by the bad guys. Okay. And they take him to these train tracks and
where we walk upon Sator for the first time and realize he's been torturing someone. But
no,
that
this
guy
isn't Sator.
Show me.
It's not Sator, I promise. It's a different guy.
You're positive?
1,000,000,000%.
Well, whoever it is, they're Russian. And they've been taking teeth out, and it eventually led to the death of one guy that we can't see his face. Oh, damn it. Don't make me know things. Things are occurring to me.
Okay.
I don't like it. Anyway.
Wait, what's occurring to you?
Doesn't matter. And then we see kind of 2 teeth being removed from the protagonist. So he's not going to talk.
Nolan has now switched editors, and I still feel like I have the issues with his movies where I can't feel the passage of time. I can't feel like spatial relationships. And then there's the confusing thing where the guy says, you're trained to hold out for 18 hours. You got till 7:00 till your friends are clear or whatever. And so I'd still never totally cleared on exactly what happens here, but he withstands torture long enough to take his poison pill.
He doesn't want to withstand that torture. Whoever's in front of him is taking out the poison pill for him.
Right. So he has withstood enough torture and takes advantage of the opportunity to take the poison pill. That's what I meant.
He proves he will kill himself rather than give away information. Yeah, I don't think he had to withstand any torture at all. He just happened to need some time. But what I just realized is the guy that gives him the poison pill is definitely fucking Neil. Gets him out of that situation. There's a reason why we don't see him. There's a reason why this man is taking something out. Like, he got it out for him, right? It wasn't just in his hand.
Yeah, he did get it out.
He did get it out for him.
I don't know that it's
Neil.
Neil.
It's just okay, but that's just like whenever the guy who is laying on the ground, we need a locksmith. He jumps up and saves him in the nick of time, and then he's out of there.
Yeah, and that guy is Neil.
I know.
Okay.
Hence the little orange keychain on the backpack. I know that, but I'm telling you, I think it's anytime we can't see someone's face and they help him, it is Neil.
Yeah, future self.
No.
In a
It's
sense.
not
In
Neil.
a sense.
I don't know that there is a present self of Neil.
No, I know, because Neil right now is also at the Russian city, Soviet city, doing all that stuff, because all of that stuff is happening at the same time in the timeline as all the opera stuff. I only picked that up this time, that the opera stuff happens at the exact same time as the big assault on Stalsk 12. And so the movie does reach it goes more than halfway and then goes backward in time to the beginning of the movie's timeline. It just doesn't end in the same geographical place.
That would have helped, Nolan.
He swallows the pill. And it is cool that he swallows the pill, his eyes turn red, and then...
No, he already had red eyes because he's getting his teeth pulled out. This is excruciating.
Well, we're getting a close-up on his eyes.
Yeah, but you could see that's what was so effective about his acting in that moment. I'm like, oh, he's really going through some shit. He's sweating. He's like when our kid came out of like getting the dentist and like had to be strapped down and was screaming for 5 minutes.
And then the word Tenet comes on screen. And then he wakes up sometime later with Martin Donovan watching over him and says, "Welcome to the afterlife, son. You've been in a medically induced coma while we rebuilt your mouth. The suicide pills were fake? Yeah, man. A test. And you passed. You chose to die instead of giving up your colleagues." And then he explains, we all believe we'd run into the burning building, but until we feel the burning heat, we never know.
Yes.
But now you do.
Call back to Matt Damon.
Yep.
Pussy ass Dr. Mann.
Which is handy. If you can just go back in time, this is a great way of testing everybody. All right, fail the test, go back, start over again.
I don't think you're going to get a different answer with the same person.
No, but you can go back and get a different person without wasting time. I don't know.
Not a lot of Dr. Manns out there, man. You just gotta, I don't know if you want to know. Just like, eh.
So he's like, yeah, you have a new assignment. Okay. Your duty transcends national interest. This is about survival. Whose? Everyone's. There's a cold war coming, as cold as ice. To even know its true nature is to lose. This is knowledge divided. All I have for you is a gesture in combination with a word. Tenet. Use it carefully. I'd say he's not exactly careful about using it. He uses it everywhere. He flashes the symbol everywhere at everyone.
Does it?
Yes,
He just does it once.
No, he's doing it all the time.
No, he's not. I think he does it once or twice.
No, he's trying to get in every club. Tenet, maybe. Tenet. The hand thing. Huh.
He's trying to shake hands like this.
Parents.
What if we're both Tenet?
Gets dropped off at this windmill on the ocean. And like my favorite thing about this movie is just the random weird locations like this.
And that they're real.
Oh yeah. Like Nolan went on a trip and saw thousands of windmills just in the middle of the ocean.
I also like that they're standing all over the place, and who knows how far down the pylons go to like keep them above the water that way, because it's an ocean, so you're like dodging windmills to sail in an ocean. That's fucking interesting. Number two, it makes it look like the water planet, because these things look like they should be above on the surface, so them just standing up everywhere, it's like they're light poles. I mean, they are serving as that too, but yeah, another callback, Matt. Woo! Ring the call back, siren. Ring
And they
it.
put him up in the windmill, and he just has to live as like this lighthouse keeper for who knows how long, probably a day, and then gets picked up by the windmill employee crew the next day and taken to shore and goes to this brutalist building, and he meets Clémence Poésy. He's in Estonia in this building, Clémence Poésy, and she's like, yeah, I'm like a science person and I study all this stuff, and I'm kind of bummed out about it. And he's like, hey, you're Tenet maybe? And she's like, yeah, Tenet. Yes, Tenet. Hand signal thing. All right, let me tell you about all this stuff. Our mission is we're trying to prevent World War III. And he goes, nuclear holocaust? And she says, no, something worse.
Okay. This is like baby language for people so smart.
I mean, what?
Acid rain? No.
But it's
thermodynamics.
We're seeing Nolan with his little trick of loving for one person to say a sentence, the next person to, and instead of finishing the sentence, have the next person set them up to say something dramatic.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of
way worse. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of volleys.
There's a lot of volleys.
So she hands him a gun and she's like, you see that big concrete slab? Shoot at it. And he's like, but this chamber in this magazine is empty. And she's like, well, try anyway. And oh my God, it did it.
Why do you already accept this?
He does accept it very quickly.
Yes, and that it is a new kind of weapon once it's going backwards. And that's something that had to be explained to me. I mean, and reading the Nolan Variations book really explained it too, that he literally taught John David to fight forwards as the protagonist, fight forwards as the antagonist, fight back. Like, this is backwards fighting. This is now reversed fighting on a camera. This is him doing things in backwards. If he can be a weapon in reverse, his body, then so can the bullet. And I understand that now. And it's not like I didn't understand it a couple scenes in either, but it's annoying that nuclear holocaust? It's like literally the thing that everyone learns about in fucking 5th grade, whatever. 2, oh yeah, I've seen these munitions before. A backwards bullet?
But it's like a describing part of the elephant thing without seeing the whole. Like, oh yeah, backwards bullets. Of course, I think I read about this in Popular Mechanics.
I feel like
it's just like no, listen, you don't understand.
I feel like he's in the business of needing to. Well, he's constantly being questioned. He's constantly working with other kinds of people that don't know his reputation, that are from other kinds of services. So it's like he's constantly having to prove that he knows what the fuck's going on. And so that's what that like. Yeah. I've seen this before.
So we think it's a type of it's inverted. Its entropy is reversed.
What does entropy mean?
Yes, entropy. Fucking, I tried.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, I mean, I read on Wikipedia about the second law of thermodynamics. I know it's about like energy in a closed system and the direction it moves in. But I don't know. I was always bad at physics. I don't get it.
I understand a closed system. I understand energy in a closed system, meaning every action has an equal and positive react. That's the law.
I think that's the first law. The second law is that in a closed system, entropy only increases; it doesn't decrease.
Got it.
But we reversed its entropy. You see,
fantastic.
We think it's a type of radiation triggered by nuclear fission. And he says, "What? You didn't make it? No, we don't know how yet." Which is just like in Interstellar, where TARS is like, but humans couldn't make this big time library. Don't you see, Slick? We don't do it yet. We do it in the future.
See, and I appreciate this folksy ass idiot who's actually really brilliant, explaining to us something that maybe we don't understand, but in a normal person way, not in these little quippy like, no, the future's attacking us. No, it's the past. Yet. Oh, but before. Tomorrow. It's like every little reference to time is sassy in this movie, and it makes me feel like the asshole.
I just don't see that.
Dude, instead of explaining what she's talking about, all she says is this provocative yet, as if she's asking him to ask a follow-up question. Just fucking say what you're going to say, doctor. Like, why make him go, what do you mean yet? Well, what I mean is, like, just fucking spit it out.
I like this performance because she's playing it with this existential despair of knowing this is everything I'm getting is because we know some sort of global cataclysm will happen.
And they're all working with this like need to know divided bullshit. You know, like they all have a piece of the puzzle, right? Because if any of them had all of it, and that's for the algorithm and for the knowledge, then they'd have to be killed. So it's like they're all also just offering the part that they understand, but you can't rely on any of them to be telling the truth because they're on a need to know basis. And so speaking to the person they're speaking to, they give them as much information as that person needs to know. So I can't tell who's being cute and who's just limited in what they can share. Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating.
So she tries to explain how this works. Like, okay, try to pick up this inverted bullet, and he can't. And she's like, well, you see, you need to have dropped it. Don't try to understand it. Just feel it, which is also what Nolan is telling us, the audience.
And I get it. I get she's there to like help us through the movie, and that's why she's so early in the movie. And then he's just like, instinct. And there he goes again. Like, okay, know it all. Yeah, you knew a word. I'm trying to figure out what it is that aggravates me about the writing in this movie. And this is how I'm processing.
Well, what I like about him right here is he's like, okay, yeah. Oh, wow. So why does it feel so weird when I shoot the bullet? It's like, because you're not shooting it, you're catching it. He's like, damn, that's asks some questions like, oh, maybe the mixture of alleys could tell where it comes from. And then he stops himself and he's like, to be honest, though, I'm not feeling like nuclear Armageddon here with all of this. And she's like, don't you get it? All of this debris I'm finding, it's from the future global war that's going to destroy everything. Even a nuclear weapon can only affect our future. An inverted one can affect our past as well. She opens up her drawers and is like showing all her findings, all the stuff. Now that we know what to look for, we're finding more and more debris everywhere.
Why does our past matter?
Huh?
Why does that matter? If we're going to die now, what does it matter that our past died too?
Because we'll die now.
Yeah, we were already going to die now. I don't care if it's because my past died and then it kills me now, or if it kills me now because it kills me now. I don't care.
You should care
I'm
if
dead.
you die right now.
She's saying there's a difference between someone going, pow, you're dead because I shot you right now, and butterfly effect, that killed you now. They both just kill me now. And she's just acting like it could destroy our past. It's like some kind of big, whoa. Again, if I'm not here to care, I don't care.
I just think it's equivalent to we are getting killed right now.
But he just said we're getting killed right now. I get it. Like the difference is we're going to go into a war and we'll have had that preparation. We're in the war. Oh, I died. But what she's saying is one day it would just be lights out. But again, I'd rather not go to war.
This has always been your thing is like, if the world ends, the world ends.
As long as we're all going.
If we're all going down, that's fine. You're like Sator at the end of this movie. I'm dying, lights out for everyone.
I would not take everyone out. But if we all died at the same time, it's not moving to me at all. If there's no one here to feel human emotion and sadness about the death of something, I don't care. No one should. This is just ego caring about the human population existing again. No, but Earthlings will be gone. So?
Yeah, you're more like Katherine when they tell her about the coming. Oh, everything in the world is gonna be destroyed. She goes, including my son.
And she shouldn't care, because as long as everything's going, as long as she's going too. If you can guarantee me we're all out of this bitch, I'm sad, but that's better than me knowing I'm leaving a sad husband and sad children. That hurts.
Okay, I agree. So if Nolan, who's now obsessed with nuclear war, the thing that happens when you start reading about nuclear war is you realize like we will die one day. The world is going to end because of this.
Sure.
The world is not going to. Climate change is going to make the world terrible, but nuclear war will end the world.
Well, and it could be climate change that makes it to where we go to nuclear arms because of resources.
Absolutely, yes. And so like this is like getting the evidence ahead of time and being horrified by it. That's why I like this scene so much.
Well, and to have such a technology, but it's actually so fucking limited. It's truly amazing. You can go back into the past, but you don't just get to go in the past, do a little thing, pop back out. Like you have to live it again. Mm-hmm. You have to feel backwardsness. It wears and tears your body. It wears you out emotionally. So it's like you could still have like a newish body, but if mentally you're like fucking Leo from Inception, just a tired old man sick of doing the same thing over and over and over again.
And your body would age.
It seems like it would.
Even though your entropy is running backwards, whatever that means.
I mean, that's if they'd explain, hey, but as much time as you go backwards, that's how much juice you're saving up for when you come back over. Like that would be cool. Like the fucking witch that brushes the hair of Rapunzel. You brush the hair long enough and you I'm pretty.
Exactly.
Come back a little hotter. Or like your wounds are healed or something. A little something like that. Your nails are grown.
Well, they do. I mean, she has to go back in time because of the inverted bullet. But I think that's just... But
she has to go back in time because she needs to stop him from killing himself.
First, first they have to send her back because that's the only way to stop the inverted bullet. But I think that's because she was shot with an inverted bullet, and it's like... we can say in the same way that you can save somebody by like performing surgery on them to get a bullet out of her, they have to invert her while they're doing that for something.
Fine, but she's also needs to get better because she's the only way to get Sator not to kill himself. Therefore, ending all of I don't understand. How does he know it's time to kill himself? He knows he got all 9 things. Dude, fuck it. My favorite part of this movie is the way that they bungee up to see Priya. And then they leave, and the little things they say, and the way they leave her. I wish this whole movie was full of that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
The first 45 minutes are my favorite part of the movie, definitely. So
Yeah.
they go to Mumbai. He needs to get to Sanjay Singh, and so he's assigned a new contact in Mumbai, Neil. You'll meet him at the Bombay Yacht Club, and it's Robert Pattinson in just the most charming performance you could ever give. Knows everything about John David Washington, including he likes a Diet Coke.
Oh, that's true.
And so once you know that they're best friends and possibly lovers,
I could see that.
you
that's
see the
sweet.
awe and like admiration for him all over his face, but also like, but I can't tell him.
I know.
So they need to get into Singh's apartment, and Neil's like, it'll be tricky, but I know a way. We're going to bungee into it, and it's awesome. They get to Sanjay Singh, but quickly find out he's just a frontman for his wife, Priya, played by the actress Dimple Kapadia. She flashes the Tenet sign at John David Washington. He's like, oh, great. Flashes, oh, Tenet, yes, Tenet, yes, Tenet, yes. So they're sitting down and having a drink. And she's like, listen, I'm a weapons dealer. I'm a front. My husband's a front for me. I'm going to point you in the direction of Andrei Sator. He's a Russian oligarch who's in exile from the Russian government right now. Michael Caine will later tell us he has British citizenship. He made his billions in plutonium. This is a thing that happens with Russian oligarchs. You got to be on Putin's side or else you got to stay far away. Stay on your yacht, stay on the move. Don't drink any tea that you haven't seen, that you don't trust anyone who poured it.
I mean, we're in a linear timeline with John Do you want to know how I remembered his name finally? Jonathan Davis. I had to think of corn. Scare the shit out of me. His interactions with Neil from the time we meet John David to the time he first links up with Neil, that feels very linear. And maybe that's just because my brain is only capable of that. Here is us and we're starting our relationship, and then we get to the end and we're parting. Our relationship's over. And then Neil's like, it's over for me, but it just begun for you. Is it back at the Diet Coke place? Like, is that what he's talking about? Is it just this? Is this a fucking infinite? No. Are you sure?
I'm positive. Yes. He because he goes on to found Tenet. He goes on to hire everyone. He has a long life ahead of him. And they get up to some stuff. And the way Neil says, when we get up to some stuff, it's like, well, I've seen this movie. You didn't get up to the stuff that sentence implied.
Yes, but look at them. They're running up a fucking building on a bungee.
This isn't stuff, though.
Fine. Yeah, the only thing that convinces me that it goes on is the scene at the very end where he kills Priya. But man, did he show up fast. I feel threatened.
Oh, because he didn't need to be fast for him. She just needed to make a call, and he could have heard that 100 years from then. That's the thing about time travel. I mean, he would have had to wait 100 years to travel back in time. That's just an example. But they're saying that all the time. Like anything you say is communicating with the future. And what Sator does is just says like, hey, I want gold here. And at some point in the future, it could be hundreds of years from now, they put gold there for him. And so it's instant for him, basically. So she makes a call and he's instantly there. But it's not instant for him.
What if she needs DoorDash?
Same thing. So
we're DoorDash from the past. We're there right there.
And that's how it would end up being.
Yes.
Just we're going back in time.
For rich people only, though. It'd be like, do you want that? Do you want to wait? Do it in the Greenway on an Amazon Prime delivery day, or do you want it from the past?
Yeah, and we're getting people from like the 1500s. We're getting Russian serfs, and we're paying them to do that. That way we don't have to pay. We pay them a cent an hour.
Decrepit people with little pointy shoes.
Which was a South Park episode. People from the future come into the past, and they're taking our jobs.
Yeah.
All of this. I mean, the thing is, like, all of this. There's been a billion like jokes made about this concept way before Nolan ever. There's a book. John Swartzwelder, one of the great writers for The Simpsons, wrote like 20 novels after he stopped
Wow.
on The Simpsons.
He had a lot to say.
And I only discovered them in the past few years and was like, oh my God, it's like a golden era of The Simpsons, but in a book. And they're detective novels. And so it's kind of like if Chief Wiggum were the star of a detective novel. And the first one is called The Time Machine Did It. And it's about time travel.
And all the dumb ways we'd use it.
Yeah. And so he's like, all these criminals are going into the past and looting the past and then showing it. And so the detective's like, I noticed all these criminals I'm normally on the tail of, and they're walking around with Fabergé eggs and stuff. So, I mean, that is kind of just the same thing. It's like, I can go anytime in the past and just steal stuff.
So really, recession right now and inflation and all that shit could just be the result of too many times the rich people coming back from the past, taking resources, and like our world is deteriorating and we're going to a more bleak place, but we don't know it's because of time travel.
Right. We're just like, what is a resort fee?
Why
It's
are all
like,
the eggs gone?
That's why. That's
Right.
the explanation. Where's our money go? What?
Right.
Why inflation? All this
They've
stuff.
used all the oil in the future, and so it just keeps going up. And we're like, oh, it's a war.
Yeah, Ticketmaster
We're
service
having a
charges.
war.
What are those? And the answer is
War.
future. The future stole from us.
Future.
We got to pay for it somehow. So where are we? Yeah, you sold Sator inverted munitions. She's like, well, they weren't inverted when I sold them to her. He's working as a broker between the past, the present, and the future. In the future, they can invert things and such and such and so and so. Listen, go get in touch with Sator. It's tough to get in touch with Sator, but you're a fresh-faced protagonist. Methinks you can do it. I have a contact at British Intelligence. He'll help you out.
But she's just a guide too. Neil's just a guide. I don't understand why they can't tell John David anything, but they all know something. I guess her and Neil, and then the military we see later, they're all in the pincer move this entire time.
Mm-hmm. And they don't know enough.
I think they're the ones who do know. They're the ones that guide him at every step of the way. I also think Michael Caine. Like, I think like the whole time there are people put there to get him through this storyline.
Yeah. And also his future self.
When do we see him?
We don't see him, but they talk about him. How
I
he
know
recruits
that.
them all in the future to help him.
I
in
know,
the
but
present.
why doesn't he know that? Like, when do they go back and talk to their selves that don't fucking know anything?
I don't know.
Oh, Matt, you put this in here to make me sad. Look at him. Oh, he's got his hand up his asshole, using him as a puppet, doesn't he? This is Christopher Nolan looking very young. Why does he look so young? But I guess just because he's sitting next to withering Michael Caine he truly looks like he just popped out of a hospice bed and plopped down. He's not even ironed. Look at him.
86 years old in this
Boy.
movie. Don't know if this was his final movie, and he's still alive, but he retired. John D. Dubs goes into the snooty British gentlemen's only club, and the actor from Following is playing the maitre d', and he's like, oh, and he's like, well, I'm here to see Michael Crosby. You mean Sir Michael Crosby, I believe. And Sir Michael Crosby is Sir Michael Caine, and looks so much older than he looked in Interstellar. This is only 6 years later.
Very much, yes. He has gone through something.
And he was a voice in Dunkirk, but he wasn't on screen in Dunkirk. So this is his last collaboration with Nolan. But yeah, I'm told you're interested in a certain Russian national. He's tapped into our intelligence services. I've told him he's feeding them rubbish, but they don't seem to care. So this is kind of, I love that this is a Bond movie, but now it's also sort of a John le Carré thriller, because it's sort of about just like intelligence operations and the sort of bureaucracy of it, where these spies just sit at desks and all they do is hear intelligence from their sources, and it doesn't even matter if it's true or not. It's like, we just need to fill out some paper. So this guy Sator, he tells me all these lies. As long as I can go tell my boss, hey, look at all this intel I'm getting, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so he tells him about these Soviet cities, including the one Sator grew up in, Stalsk 12. In the 70s, it had a population of 200,000, but now it's abandoned, or thought abandoned, because it's still used for underground tests. And 2 weeks ago, the same day as the Ukrainian opera siege, we spotted a detonation in that city.
So, because he got the final piece during the opera thing and brought it to Stalsk 12.
Yes.
And he made it go boom?
Yeah. His whole thing is to make it go boom. What I still don't understand is why the good guys also want it to happen. But it's because he can assemble it for them so that they can disassemble it. Don't know. Don't get it.
They want him to try to use it, and they want to get it before it goes boom, so that they can, have it assembled. They just need him away long enough, and that's why they have such limited time between. He has to have wanted to leave because the explosion's happening. He just left.
So it's like they would have needed to find all this stuff anyway, and he's just ahead of them. So just follow him, and he'll lead us to it.
No, they already knew where to look. They already knew the significance of that place, and they just needed him to go there, put all the pieces together, and be confident enough that no one was going to stop the explosion he was creating with all the pieces, that he could leave it and get away from it and do whatever the fuck he was going to do. And in those short minutes, or I don't even know how much time went by, he left, they go in. And this is coming from someone who doesn't know, so I don't know.
All right. Now, Sator, the thing about Sator is he grew up as a poor person, but he emerged from this obscure Soviet city with ambition and enough money to buy his way into the British establishment via Katherine Barton, his wife, who's from this noble family. Also, she works at Shipley's as an art authenticator. That's how she met Sator.
And he's a brute, and he knows that he operates from the position of this whole industry does. In fact, like what you want to do is not know anything, because unfortunately in this business and with him, once you know something, you die. And so that poor guy who's digging the fucking plutonium with him, he looks at him, cracks him with the shovel. I mean, he's been operating this way. If you look at this stuff and you know what it is, you're going to die. So don't accidentally look at my things. And that's with her too. He got a stolen piece of, he got a forgery piece of art that she thought was real. And so either she's bad at or she's fucked either way. I'm bad at my job. I don't have Shipley's job anymore.
It was because she was having an affair with the forger who made it.
Oh, right.
And she did that while she was married to Sator.
Was his name Arepa?
Arepo, yeah.
Oh, I was kidding.
Arepo.
I was kidding. I was just picking one of the names.
So a fake Goya painting. Goya. She authenticated it, and it would ruin her reputation if it was discovered. So this is your way. This is your way of infiltrating the Sator circle, is the fake Goya. And then he's like, look, no offense, but when someone's claiming to be a billionaire, and he just points his big fat finger at him, booksellers won't cut it. He's like, but I'm assuming I'm on a budget. And he's like, assume the very opposite, and slides him a black card. All right. And then he stands up and he looks into the camera and he's like, goodbye, Sir Michael.
Yeah. Princess Leia, who died recently.
So Jonathan Davis is watching Catherine, Elizabeth Debicki, talk to her little son outside of a school. Now, it took me watching the movie 10 times to realize what's happening is this is basically the only time she gets to see her son
every day,
is
right
in
school.
These few minutes before their hired help comes and picks him up.
Yep.
Very sad. Maybe if the movie were edited better, I could feel more emotion about that. But he pays her a visit at Shipley's and he brings her his new fake Goya. And she's like, oh, that's extraordinary. And she starts looking at it with a microscope and he's like, what's it worth? And she says, oh, it's much too soon for that. And he says, but what does your heart tell you? And he's like, I guess because like the camera's pushing in on him as he watches her and we're supposed to feel like, oh, he's really seeing something special in her. Or really falling in love with her right now.
And this is where the movie gets kind of fucked over by the fact that they figured it out during the process of filming, that the heart of the story was between the two men and not between, it's supposed to be between Kat and him, that they are building to that. We're not stupid for thinking that's what's happening. And then they realize, no, the ones with the chemistry or the really sweet story is with the guys. So it's like, it shifts from very bro-y to like sentimental between them, and it shifts and it never quite shifts away from Kat and John David hinting at something, especially because he's fighting for her life. He's seemingly putting like everything at risk for her and her son. In his line of work, it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense what he's doing for her. He got what he needed from her and he needs to move on. But so they are setting up a romantic relationship the whole time. So it's just strange for it to abruptly switch gears.
Because Nolan's never had a romance. He's never successfully.
But it was written to be, really, he was going to let Jonah have his way, or whoever wrote that part. But then they saw something different when they were watching the dailies or whatever. And so when she kisses him like on the head or something, and then leans her head on his shoulder and bye forever. It's just so weird.
Well, I was complaining about this with the new Spider-Man, and see our Patreon episode about Spider-Man Brand New Day, is you watch those Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst movies, and those actors are fucking heaving with horniness for each other.
Yeah.
It's like you almost have to look away. It's obscene, but it's got you so charged up. And they kiss upside down, and her nipples are hard.
Oh,
and it's wet.
Matt!
The new Spider-Man, you have little bitty baby Zendaya and little bitty baby Tom Holland, and they give
little
each
bitty
other
baby nipples,
little pecks on the cheek, and then pull their faces away. That's only for mommies and daddies to peck on the cheeks.
So maybe these movies are not about the sex, Matt.
So maybe they looked at the dailies and they're like, boy, not feeling a charge between these two actors. We have to figure something else out.
Except for in what he's doing. It's that he's not emoting these things. You don't see it on his face. It's just when he's away from her and these decisions he's making. It's like, okay, I get it. Because at the Opera House, you were picking up the bombs, and this mission wasn't about that. It was about saving the world, but you're picking up the bombs.
So that's the kind of hero he is, like Ethan Hunt. Like I can't let anyone die.
A bad one. That's not your fucking job. If it's really the world or this chick, you're fucking thinking with your dick, and I didn't mean to rhyme there.
Yeah, the paintings, the what does your heart tell you? And yeah, I know it's a fake. It's a fake. It's a fake. We cut ahead to them having dinner, and he tells her a story about I bought it from an irate Swiss banker. Then I traced it to a repo, and that led me here to you. And can you get me in touch with your husband, please? And she's like, no. No one meets my husband. And he's like, yeah, but if you don't let me meet your husband, I'll tell him it's a fake. And she says, no, he knows it's a fake. It's his leverage over me, you see?
Well, let me tell you a whole lot about my personal life.
Because Washington's like, he knows that he spent $9 million on a fake. And she's like, yeah, that barely covers the cost of the holiday he just made me go on. And he says, where'd you go? Mars?
God.
And
no, Vietnam. And I really thought I could love him again. Why are you telling me this, strange lady?
Who can she talk to? All she talks to is hired goons. But it's like, but him saying that is like, listen, man, you're trying to fit in this world. You can't do things like here $9 million and go like, gazunga, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You have the look, the clothes, but you just don't carry yourself like you belong. Like the poor dad under the sofa in Parasite, the rich dad can smell you. So the drawing's his hold over me. He threatened me with police and prison.
Oh no.
For you said this was legitimate, but it's not. But yeah, I mean, I guess that is, you got your abusive husband and then rich abusive husband. That's the works.
I mean, the real power is like you'd never win in a custody battle. You never would. He's got infinite money glitch. Like so that it's not the fucking painting, dude. That it's overly complicated. It doesn't need to be this way. They just needed a fucking Arepa in the goddamn story. I'm convinced she needed a lover for no freaking reason. It's a MacGuff. I don't know what it is. It's a widget who that he can then prove his loyalty to her by going to the Freeport and destroying it, even though he doesn't.
Well, yeah, and then it's to show that Sator, you cannot defeat him because he has the cheat of I know the future. I know everything that's going to happen. So I went and removed the painting before they could steal it.
I lied. My favorite part of the movie is when she's talking about, and it's such a weird moment too, because she's like, and then I saw a girl jump and I was jealous of her. And he thinks like jealous because she was with your husband. We're taking some leaps here, but okay. No, because she was free. So I do like that it ends up being her.
Mm-hmm. I do too. It's something nicely poetic of I'm jealous of me, of my future self. But you get me an introduction to your husband, I'll steal the drawing from you and I'll be good. But then the hired goons come and have a big battle with him in the kitchen, including cheese grater on the face. But he easily overpowers all of them.
Yeah, I am impressed with his physicality as an actor. If he learned to fight for this movie,
yeah, me too.
It's good. I mean, it's convincing. He's one of those people who you're going with it.
But still, another thing with Nolan is kind of bloodless. Like, you don't see the impact of the cheese grater. And this movie's rated R. Show me a little blood.
Okay, but I don't want to see the cheese grater face.
So he goes and meets up with her after she talks to her son after school. The kid's name is Max.
Why is this movie rated R?
Some fucks.
Ja-
Look at me, I'm a fucking tiger.
What a weird
It doesn't need to be rated R.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Maybe it's not rated R.
Okay, because I mean, he's blockbuster guy. I don't think Spielberg has any rated R's, and neither does he.
Oh, Oppenheimer and Odyssey are both rated R. PG-13. Yeah, but they say fuck.
It didn't feel like an R, but you get a certain amount of fucks, and you can trade them for shit.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
he's Christopher Nolan, baby.
So she's picking up her son Max from school, and she's like, and he's like, Anna says she's going to take me to Pompeii, and we'll see the lava. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm going to be there with you too, darling. I promise. I'm totally not lying. And he's like, all right, bye, Mom.
He really did. She really did think she was going to go.
Mm-hmm. And recall that Pompeii is where one of the Sator stones was discovered.
It's also was leveled by war, right?
Oh, lava.
That's what we were just talking about. Okay.
The protagonist arrives and he's like, he's a cute kid. And she says, he's everything. So she starts telling him about the Freeport at the Oslo airport. Her husband started a company called Rotas, a construction company called Rotas.
I'm so glad you're letting us know that.
That built a network of Freeports around the world to store art that can't be taxed. She helped him do it.
I didn't catch that part. I didn't catch that part. Okay, so, okay. He's the reason there are Freeports?
It's not the reason they are Freeports. He just
specializes in them.
Yeah. Which I think is like...
And they all come with this turnstile. But what do we use it for? Don't ever use
ask.
it.
Interesting stuff going on with him as this, like, you can squint and see this commentary about the wealthy of like, he just emerged from nowhere.
Yes.
And bought his way into the establishment. And the thing is, go back, take any wealthy family, go back, I don't know how long, and you will reach a point where there was just a guy who probably committed a crime of some sort, and then just jump ahead hundreds of years, and now it's a wealthy family. And he just had a cheat code to jump ahead. And I think in the Odyssey, you have that with Robert Pattinson's character, who's like, yeah, I'm going to try to become king. I'll marry the queen. And you think, oh, that's so dishonorable. But like Odysseus's father or grandfather or somebody did something similar. Yeah.
You got to get in.
And then these Freeports, it's like we have this fiction of an airport as a non-taxable area, and the rich want a place to smuggle their goods, so we're going to build billion-dollar industries to facilitate it. To just have this parasite growing on top of the global economy.
Like, it's like a stamp collection they never get to see. It's just they know they own it and they can go visit it if they want to, right?
Oh yeah, and so much.
Like, you can get it from there if you want to, but it seems like the point is having it there.
Yeah, because so if you actually bring it into the country, you have to pay import taxes on it.
Well, right, but then and also it's a lot of stolen art. So if you bring it into the country, you also get arrested.
That too, but they say in the Freeports nothing illegal, but then they also say, but we don't ask questions.
Yeah, but in the book they do say that these things are full of stolen things. Things you can't actually buy or trade because they're known to be stolen, and they're so well known that you'd be caught to have it. But it's like, but to own a Monet, even if it's stolen, at least you could put it in a Freeport.
Right. But it's one of those things where like, but the legal thing is also a scandal on its own. Why should you, why is there this tax-free area?
I just think it's interesting that you steal a Monet and you just want it's cool enough to own it, even if you never get to see it. It's in this place that keeps it safe from people knowing it's yours, and it's like it becomes anonymous once it's in this thing, but you know you own it because you can't even hang it up at your house. If you did, jail.
Well, most billionaires don't buy art because they like art. It's money laundering. You just have to put your cash somewhere.
Got it. Put it in the back of the frames.
Art, guitars, and guns are the things you buy. If you want to, they'll always be good to exchange for cash.
Are you giving money laundering advice?
I guess I am.
And Toyotas and Hondas.
I love this Norwegian tour guide. Like, we have no priorities.
He's so into it.
Yes.
He's such a little salesman.
And the score of this movie is so great. And I love it's just going fucking nuts right here. And I love that the dialogue's going in and out as he just like looks around at the Freeport and asks all these questions.
Because like, who cares what that man is saying? Like, yeah.
And you just know Nolan must have had such a fucking big boner about this when he learned about Freeports.
Yeah, he stuck it in his little head to use it as a different time. He just knew it would be a perfect Bond heist situation.
And then an even bigger boner when he's like, wait a minute, an airplane crash on the ground. An airplane crashes into the airport. Holy shit.
And gold bars are shooting out of its
Gold bars
ass.
shoot out of the airplane. Wow.
A perfectly normal man does a normal thing where he puts it in his jacket, then he gets killed with it. There's blood there. It slips out of his hand, the gold bar.
Yes, you're right. We meet Himesh Patel as Mahir, and he's a lot of fun in this movie and maybe this guy's also inverted because he's just kind of got this like, I'm fucking over it attitude. Like, yeah, no fucking problem. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get caught as terrorists. We'll figure it out. It doesn't matter.
You know what? That's kind of fucking interesting. Everyone that's kind of over it is your tell. And I wish I'd thought of that sooner because Priya seems over it. She's just like, no, this is a dialogue I've said to you a million times. I'm going to do this so you know enough to get through this mission again. That's how she's talking. Michael Caine's like, you sure looks like shit. Maybe here's the card. Do it again. And it's all...
Yeah, that guy's birth certificate, he's 30 years old, Michael Caine. He's just gone backwards so much.
Well, I just mean that I think you can read this movie as this is a loop that they've all done a bunch of times. And I'm sure he gets a little bit out of it and they figure out a little bit more. But like to get this just right, they've had to do it a lot. And maybe this is the 15th, 50th, 75th time they've all done it and it worked this time.
It's Groundhog Day.
Well, right. He did the right kind of life. But that would be so interesting if we learned like, you finally got it, bro. Okay, bye.
But unlike something like Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow, they remember it all. They're not forgetting it with each loop resetting.
That's why I think that we get up to some stuff means everything we're watching in this movie. I don't think they have a life beyond here.
Here. Yes, they do. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if that were it.
I don't think it's fun. I think they've gone through a lot here. That's a lot of life to live, what they've been through.
Because he's talking about stuff that you protagonists are going to experience in the future. You haven't lived it yet.
He is, because he keeps getting wiped fucking clean over and over again.
No, his memory doesn't get erased.
You don't fucking know that. I could be just as right about this.
If they get caught, he's helping them plan the thing. We're gonna hijack a freight plane that's carrying all these treasury gold bars. We'll make the crew slide off the plane.
Which looks painful as shit, man.
And Washington's like, I mean, what about the crew? And he's like, what? Fucking, they'll be fine. They'll be fucking fine. Doesn't matter.
Right. But like, it's not a bounce house, my pilot man. You didn't have to like go whoopee and like it just goes boom, boom.
Always wanted to do it though. Always thought about.
That's fine, but like gently get down. You've had training on this, I'm sure. You gently get down and then slide down it so you roll onto the ground. Not pow.
You're not trained to do it
in the land.
At gunpoint.
You're supposed to land in water.
Right. And what he says is, we're going to dump the treasury gold and people will be paying attention to that instead of, oh shit, the plane just ran into the back wall of the Freeport. And I do love the shot of when all the gold spills on the runway and everybody's just standing there like, what do we do?
Right. Like, it feels like it's illegal.
Yes. Like,
yes.
No, my hands are up here.
Right. I have not been practicing how to fit gold bar size items on my asshole for years. I have not. Future self here.
And they say, well, what if you get caught? And they're like, well, we won't get caught. Okay, but if you do. And he's like, if we do, no one's going to get killed. They're going to say it's terrorism, but there's no deaths. We'll get extradited somewhere. We'll disappear into the system. No problem.
No, but you're right. It's so much more interesting that like, no, he's just like, come on, John David, just just trust me. Okay. You're an exhausting man to do something 100 times with. Can I just tell you?
Right. Because if this guy could not know about backwards stuff, about traveling backwards, he could just be an intelligence operative who's like, I work for the CIA. They'll get me out of whatever country.
Or it could be that he is on a need to know thing. He doesn't know about backwards stuff, but he knows that the same fucking man with the same memory issue comes back and goes, no, because then that would mean that he's running a plane into a building over and over. I'm telling you, it reads as though he's done this exact thing a bunch and he already knows it's fine.
I just don't think that's what's happening.
I can't rely on your brain. It's let us down.
But I love the Freeport heist. It's so much fun. It's so well done. And it's intercut with Washington and Pattinson are going through like they're customers of the Freeport, and the very excited Norwegian guys like, right here, gentlemen, and very, very excited. And I love Himesh Patel on the plane. He's like a cargo guy, and the way he overpowers the security guy on the plane. He's like, hey, does this look like a vegetarian plate to you? I don't know, because it looks like it's me. I can't really tell. Vegetarian, and he just keeps like mumbling about this as he chloroforms the guy, and I just love that.
You got to think these turnstiles are actual architecture that Nolan discovered. This just really strikes me as something that he will have seen and been like, I'm using that. I don't know what I'm using it for. I don't know what it's going to do in my movie, but one day I am recycling the knowledge of these turnstiles. They just, and the way it's split like this really might be a way that it's just an airport protocol. Like it's security. Like this is old fashioned, like, let me see if you have plutonium on you or something. And it's like, it's divided and you can see through it because it's just a way of keeping security, or it's something simple. Old fashioned. And
once again, production design by Nathan Crowley. Great work. And we're looking at the screenshot of the turnstile. It looks really old and worn out. And presumably this thing's been around for hundreds of years in the future.
And what I am implying is that it's real.
It's a real thing.
And that it's actually been there.
And so the plane hits the wall of the Freeport. The fire alarm goes off. Now Pattinson and Washington have to hold their breath while they pick the locks. And the Nolan difference, I think, is when they get into the room where they can breathe, they're like heaving, and you feel like, oh my God, fuck.
Of course.
And in like an MCU movie, it would be nothing. You would feel like nothing.
I mean, that anytime anyone holds their breath, you can pretty much rely on a...
there's no interest in making them seem cool. Like they like collapse to the ground.
Sure.
They get into Sator's vault. Awesome. The big glass partition with the bullet holes. And there's one man on each side leading to a turnstile. And Pattinson's like, the hell happened here? Almost like he's Lacey dropping the what and just saying, the hell happened here. And Washington says, it hasn't happened yet.
But wait. Mm-hmm. For anyone to have been on the other side, they are an inverted wait. They can be over there and not be from the past or the future, like not be on the same timeline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they're walking through and suddenly the turnstile activates, and it is almost like a horror movie. Like, what is about to happen here? What is going to come out? And it's shot so well, it's so cool. And then someone just jumps out of the other side and fights Washington. And then on the other side, someone fights Pattinson.
Yeah.
And this is when Lacey said, oh, he's not fighting himself, is he? So she called it right away.
He's the exact same height, exact same build. The moves are mirrored. It's just,
But we see Pattinson rip his guy's mask off and then run away. And
I thought Pattinson was fighting himself. Like, I thought this is both I thought this is when he realized, I thought Neil was finding out at that moment and still not sharing it with, but no, he just sees another protagonist.
Now they're like debriefing afterward, and Pattinson's like really, really happy. He's like, that was a fucking crazy mission and we're still alive. So I'm feeling, I don't know about you, I'm feeling really good. And maybe you're not going to kill me, because he has to play like this whole like, yeah, man, you're in the CIA and I can't know about all the crazy shit we're finding out about. But so he starts telling him the truth now. Tells him about inversion. And Pattinson has to pretend like he doesn't know all of this. In fact, he knows way, way more than John David Washington does. But John David Washington has to be like, all right, try and catch up, man. Keep up, man.
I wonder if the reason why Neil just keeps doing it, if I'm right, is because in all the other missions, he wasn't charming enough and he does get killed by John David at the end. So he's finally like, whoo, finally made a best friend.
This is not... Fine. Nothing can change. Everything that this timeline is fixed.
Yeah.
What's happened.
Fine.
It's an expression of faith in the mechanics of the universe.
It just doesn't. I don't understand what the point is of interacting, or why is someone's past self so important that it can't know what's going on. I do think the cuts are jarring in this movie. There's very little like, and now I'm going to go do this. It's just smash cut Priya.
Like Inception, yeah.
Yeah. He's in a new suit.
The argument we made about Inception with the whole movie taking place in a dream and there no longer being a real world.
That makes sense.
is like the counter argument would be like, well, have you seen Tenet? That also feels like everything's in a dream. Where he's like, I'm going to go check out on Priya in Mumbai.
But this is a problem that Nolan has when he has so many locations he's shooting on. He shot in like 6 places for this, and they're in India every time he's talking to her or whatever it is. But
one time they're in Norway, but yeah.
Right. So like, I think he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to. It's his movies, just like with Dark Knight Rises, for whatever reason that the jail with the hole, the sky jail, whatever the hell it is, had to be in a whole other country, and it's like, but he insisted on shooting there for that, but didn't seem to have enough like thought as to how are we going to show that there was all this travel.
Yeah, because it's
and Inception has a ton of travel. They're always talking about traveling, or that they're going to this place, as if it's next door, and they do it here too. I need to go talk to Priya again. I got to go 3,000 miles away. Bye. Like, there's no talk of that. It's just there. It's he likes all this location stuff for the authenticity, but doesn't think it matters that we feel disjointed with all the travel.
Yeah, I think it is a choice, and I know he would say like, what, you want some friggin' cliche like aerial photography of Mumbai with sitar music playing over it?
I don't. I need him to look affected by the travel. I need Bane to look affected by the travel, and I don't know how you do that, but like jet lag, can you be tired? Can you have a bag of peanuts? Anything, like really, just something.
It is worse than Dark Knight Rises, with the prison being the most egregious example. Because it's literally
that
in one frame Bane is in
mistake.
Gotham, the next he's on the other side of the world, and then in the next scene he's back in Gotham.
What do you think his luggage would look like?
Big for you.
It doesn't change clothes very often. It's just like a whole lot of face masks, different kinds.
So he goes back to Mumbai, talks to her on a boat, and she's like, hey, what did you find in the vault? And he says, 2 antagonists, one inverted, one regular. We took care of the regular one. The inverted one got away. And she says they appeared at the same time, then they're the same person. So a turnstile. This is the first time we're hearing about this turnstile. It's a machine for inverting. And he's like, but you told me that technology hasn't been invented yet. And she's like, are you paying attention to anything I'm saying? My God. Go get to Sator. Go get to Sator, please. Here's where...
Wait a minute. Fuck! One regular, one inverted. So there's 3 versions of him at this time. Why? And where did that one go? He didn't kill him. Neil didn't kill him. And why was Neil like surprised to see a non-inverted protagonist? Why was he like, oh shit?
Because it hadn't happened to him yet. This is John David Washington later in the movie when they go back to Oslo, runs into the Freeport, goes through the turnstile, and goes back so that he can start going forward in time again. So he has to fight Neil and get back and get into the ambulance. I know.
I don't like it.
All right. So here's how you get to Sator. The CIA has the only plutonium-241 in the world. And Sator tried to steal it from them during the Kiev opera siege at the beginning of the movie, but he failed. The Ukrainian security service got to it first. Now they're transporting it to Estonia in a week. So that plutonium in a case. John David Washington didn't see it. We did. We did see that it's just like a brick of something.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not plutonium. It's a piece of the algorithm.
What do we know?
But yeah, it's like, okay, you need to pretend to help Sator steal the plutonium, but you need to fail to help him get to it, okay? Because we need to keep him alive long enough to see what he's ultimately going to do.
She doesn't tell him that. She doesn't tell him she wants him to fail. She just hopes he does, and he does.
No, she says...
No.
Because she's still telling him... He says, I'm not going to help an arms dealer steal plutonium. And she says, you just need him to think that that's what you're doing.
Right. But she still wants him to fail. And she's not asking him to fail here. He needs to just do it, do the mission, but give him like an empty case or something. Like, you know, she's tempting him to switch it out or whatever. And he does. And so he discovers that she wanted him to fail, even though she didn't ask him to fail.
Ugh.
Later.
Yeah.
Sator. Oh, why doesn't anyone say that in this movie?
So he goes and he finds Katherine in Italy. And he's like, good news. That drawing, it's bye-bye, baby. No more drawing. So when are you going to introduce me to your husband? And we follow her over to her yacht, but he's not invited on the yacht because they've got Volkov or Volka or the Volkov is their
scary
big
bald
thug,
man.
yeah, who's like, oh, he's not accepting visitors right now. But we finally get our first look at Kenneth Branagh. And I failed to mention Branagh was in Dunkirk in the previous movie where he was playing just like the ultimate British patriotic good man.
Very convincing as a brute, but I'm also like very impressed when on the boat there's a warmth. He loves her, or at least he thinks she's hot. But I'm like, no, don't be mean to him. He's being so nice. He didn't get to have any of his vodka yet. You just put so much suntan lotion and you didn't rub it in. In fact, he's going to do this whole scene with 2 giant handprints of all over his back. She needed it on his back because she slid him. Fuck, cat.
I know.
Cat.
But at that point in the movie, he's doing the classic abusive husband. Like, I'm really contrite right now. Mm-hmm. And when you're an abused person, you're like, oh, this is the best. I can get anything right now.
Thank you for explaining that to me. Yes, I've lived it.
You're welcome. Where's Max? And he's like, yeah, Max went to Pompeii with our hired help, Anna. And she's like, but I told him I was going to go see Pompeii with him. And so he's such a piece of shit that he's even making her a liar to her son.
That is mean.
And they're having this dinner that night that the protagonist goes to, and he sits down to next to Sator, and he's like, hey, I'm like a charming man. And Sator's like, save it. Just tell me, how do you want me to suffocate you with your balls? And he's like, well, is this how you treat all your guests, fella? Aren't you going to serve me dinner first?
Yes, it is your balls.
I will serve you.
Do you want me to dip them in hot
balls.
sauce or some sort of other spread?
And he's like, before you get to that, do you like opera? And he's like, oh,
how did you know?
Who told you that word? So meet me tomorrow on the water at 8 a.m. All right.
Tentatively 8 a.m. Tentatively 7 a.m.
So that's the next morning before they go on their great catamaran adventure. Kat's having breakfast with her husband, and she's got a little pep in her step. And he's like, you have little pep in step. Avai. And she's like, I'm just feeling really good right now. Can't wait to eat this delicious breakfast. Oh, no, it's the Goya painting.
I can't eat that.
He's like, yes, instinct told me to remove it from vault. I've always had instincts about future.
What?
You are all mine. You will never leave, you bitch. All right, now let's go get on those sailboats, okay? I don't understand what the fuck these boats are, these catamarans.
Are fucking wild. I don't see any appeal at all. Get in the water, get out of it. And also, you guys look like freaking dorks. You all look so stupid in your helmets and your halfy wetsuits and your little vests and your. God, but they look dumb. Just supposed to be a thrilling sport. This is supposed to be
fun?
No, it's supposed to be challenging and then exhilarating.
Okay.
But
should we try it?
No. Why? Do you want to be the pulley person or the bike person?
No, but what I really want to do is parasail. Will you get mad at me if I do that?
I've parasailed. It's
because Lacey won't let me parachute out of a plane.
I have parasailed. It is fun.
All right.
That's so safe. Yeah.
Okay. So is skydiving.
No,
it's so safe. Yes, it is.
Not.
Statistically very safe.
You're not doing it.
Yes, I'm doing it.
You'll sink like a rock. You'll Peggy Hill.
She survived.
I don't want to take care of you.
I don't want to be taken care of. So, yeah, as they're doing the catamaraning, he's like, tell me about plutonium. And he's like, well, there's plutonium that the CIA got in 2008 or whatever. And he's like, yeah, the thing about you, there's no information on you whatsoever. You're so obviously an intelligence agent. But before they can continue their conversation, Kat cuts Kenneth Branagh's harness. He flings into the water, and apparently this is going to kill him.
So look how fast they're going.
I can't tell how fast they're going.
They're going super fast. And I mean, it's basically like hitting concrete. It knocked him out.
Okay. All right.
She's confident.
So Washington dives into the water.
Or they're
after
far
him.
enough out that what's he going to do? Bob up and down? Wait for help?
So the protagonist jumps in and saves him. We cut ahead and now they're on the yacht and Kat's yelling at him like, why didn't you let him drown? My God.
I would be so fucking, I had a whole line. I said, die in hell, you bastard. God damn it.
Sator brings John David Washington into his office, and we see now his obsession with his pulse.
Get off me. Get right. Like, I don't need your doctor. So what was it? Was it good? I don't need this doctor. Why is he upset? Yeah. What is that about?
He's this. I mean, this is pretty well observed about these rich fucks.
Yeah,
is like,
but he knows he's dying. He has cancer.
And yeah, he knows he's dying because of this bargain he made, but I'm so smart and rich. Is there some way to hack it? Can I just get a little extra? Can I live so pristinely?
No. The pulse thing is like he prides himself on being able to like do really monstrous things without raising his pulse level. Like to him, it's some kind of like even further kind of like achievement of I did that without even skipping a beat, without even raising a pulse. I can beat people up with nothing. Because that's when he's like, but you're the first person to get my pulse over there. Pretty impressive. I think it's how he judges like his opponent. It's his only way of tracking at this point. He's killed so many people.
I thought it was part of the life extension thing because that ties into like, I'm taking the whole world down with me. The only thing that exists in the world is me. And you get to a level of wealth where the only thing that matters is can I stay alive
got
forever.
you. But on this man's timeline, he's dying in days on his own accord.
So those days, I don't know.
No, that it's not a life extending thing. It's some kind of like macho thing.
Yeah. So the protagonist is like, hey, can you help me steal the plutonium? And he's like, don't talk to me about plutonium. I know everything about plutonium. And like the Talia al Ghul flashbacks, we get a flashback here better than in Dark Knight Rises of him emerging from the muck and the mire of this plutonium town, cleaning it up and finding a briefcase with a letter from the future and all these gold bars, a letter that he sent himself from the future, I guess.
Yeah. It's the opposite of go back and kill baby Hitler. It's go back and give gold bars to baby Sator.
Give Hitler a baby
Hitler
baby gold rattle.
Right.
And so later that night, there's the scene where Sator's about to beat the shit out of his wife with his belt and his cufflinks.
Inserted into the whole fuck.
And she's like, don't do it or I'll scream. And John David Washington will hear and then the deal will be off. And he's like, oh, damn, I need deal to go down because he knows it's the ninth piece of the algorithm. But then she asks, like, why couldn't you just let me go? And he's like, because if I can't have you, no one can.
I haven't gotten to experience this amazing accent since the Heartbreakers when you got to do.
He's Pipiska.
Oh, that's a funny word.
John David Washington watches Sator's men bring a crate of gold onto the yacht and he beats a man with a gold bar because that man tried to steal that gold bar. And then he gets caught, John David does, and Sator yells at him but still needs him. He's like, go to Estonia, go. We'll figure it out there.
But how will I fund my trip? Gold bar? And again, I'm like, what are you doing with this? You got to go online. You got to go to Fox News. It's like gold for cash or whatever the fuck.
Ask Bruce Wayne. He'll tell you. They'll buy my gold.
You know, it's interesting. A plane crashed and a ton of gold bars came out. Only one was missing. And here you are showing up with this gold bar. I think you can trace it.
So Sator takes his wife to the Freeport in Tallinn. Tallinn is in Estonia. And John David Washington and Robert Pattinson are setting up the plutonium hijacking. And so in the Freeport vault, Sator has all these assault weapons laid out for her to see. And she's like, what? Why are you showing me all this? And he's like, you know exactly what all this is, Cat. That filthy business that put your boy through school and those clothes on your back. I mean, there's an element of this movie where she is complicit and beyond being like a mob wife who just doesn't ask questions. She's like helped him facilitate business deals and stuff and is doing the but I don't see the illegal part of the business, but is still very much a part of it.
But she would have left him a long time ago.
But it's also, she's from a noble family that also probably sold arms to Hezbollah and to Israel, to both sides. Just whatever you got to do.
Whoever needs it.
This is where he yells, like, look at me. You don't negotiate with tiger. You sit and admire its fucking nature. And he starts beating her up and spitting on her. And Nolan doesn't shy away from showing it. Mm-hmm. And then he goes through the turnstile and he tells this guy, tell me everything as it happened. So then we get the big fucking heist on the highway of Tallinn with the fire trucks and Commissioner Gordon's there. He's dressed as a fireman. Takes off the fire helmet. It was me. And they get the plutonium briefcase, get into the BMW with Robert Pattinson, and then he opens up the briefcase and he's like, this is not plutonium. This is just like a block of something.
This is a fucking Cinnabite cube.
This is the lament configuration. Oh God, even worse. And they're listening to the walkie-talkies. And Robert Pattinson's like, I don't understand what they're saying. And John David Washington's like, I thought you said you speak Estonian. And this is when the first time I watched the movie, I was like, oh, come on. Because Estonian, to be clear, like...
Dead language.
No, but like 1 million people at most speak that language. But then but he has to know everything. He knows what he needs to know. So of course he would have learned Estonian.
But why is he confused that it's backward? He's just pretending to be confused.
Well, but it's backwards, you see. They're speaking backwards.
I got it. But he's pretending to be confused why backwards speaking could be happening. He knows why.
Oh, yes. I'm just saying the fact that he knows Estonian is absurd.
I got that.
And then when you know it, a car is approaching them backwards. This is the part of the movie where I start dissociating because I just cannot feel the motion on screen.
No.
Because I have to sit there and think about what's happening.
And I don't know what is having real effect and what's going to be erased and what is, you know what I mean? I don't know what matters. And if I can't action only matters if each action that they are doing has a consequence. And when you remove the possibility of a consequence from action, you're literally removing anything interesting about it. Cause and effect. It's just cause.
I mean, when we talk about action, we say that's the most important thing is you need to see cause and effect. And it's not like those things aren't here on the screen. Whenever I try to talk about this movie with people and I say, I just feel like my eyes can't track it. They don't seem to understand what I'm saying. And maybe other people just can visually take this in better than I can.
I can't. We're very different people this way. So if we're both not doing it.
Sator pulls up in a big SUV holding Kat hostage with a gun. And so the protagonist throws him the briefcase and then they get surrounded by the bad guys. And Robert Pattinson's like, okay, don't worry. I'm calling in the cavalry. And John David Washington's like, what cavalry?
I mean, I'm so glad that John David formed this company and is at the head of it because he'd be fired so fast. He has the most, he's not made for this. One woman with a gun pointed to her head and that's it. Once she's dead, she's not going to know she doesn't have her son anymore. Fucking who cares?
Because he just loves her that much.
He doesn't, though. He just met her.
What cavalry? So, but they capture John David Washington. They capture Kat and they take them back to the Freeport. And now we're getting to see like on one side of the partition it's inverted, on the other side it's not inverted, and Lacey's so bummed out right now.
Like you're putting me to sleep.
All this shit happens, and then finally the cavalry arrives, led by Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's like, hello, everyone. I'm here on the cavalry, okay?
I'm kind of a cunt, but you like me anyway.
Temporal pincer movement is what just went down, don't you? Hurry.
I'm going to be the red team. You're going to listen to every word I say. This bitch over here is the blue team, and I'm talking right over her.
That's Wheeler.
All you need to know is that she's saying the same thing I am, but I'm the actor who gets to be heard. Huh?
You might recognize her father as playing Chucky and Bride of Chucky.
The point is, we don't care about her.
No, we don't.
We don't.
Poor Fiona Dourif. As Wheeler, the leader of the blue team. And Ives is Aaron Taylor Johnson. And John David Washington's finally like grabs Robert Pattinson. He's like, you seem to know like everything. Tell me what the fuck you know, man. And he's like, listen, it's not important for me to tell you what I know. What is important is that you just trust.
Go with your instincts. Do you love me?
And Aaron Taylor Johnson interjects and he's like, they're running a temporal pincer movement. A pincer movement, ladies and gentlemen, is when you attack an enemy on both sides. Temporal pincer movement, one half attacks from the future, the other from the past. And that's how fucking Sator does everything. Yeah, temporal pincer movement. Kat's dying because she's been shot with an inverted around. The only hope for her is if she goes backwards. So the protagonist is like, well, then that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take her back. So he goes through the turnstile. And
all of that's just leading him to get her, because all they actually really need is for her to go fucking schmooze him enough to not die. So like they're even leading him to care about her.
Yeah.
They know he's going to be like this.
They do. And once he goes in, he will need to find another machine to come back, because once you start going backwards, Sator will have control of this machine. And he's like, well, I know exactly where to find another turnstile, mister. And it's at the Oslo airport when I heisted it a week ago. Well, great. Okay. And so the whole team goes through, but then John David Washington's like, actually, fuck it. Neil, you take Katherine, put her on a shipping container. I'm going to go get other Katherine and stop Sator from killing her, because he might kill her. And Neil's like, he's not going to kill her because she's alive right now. So we know he didn't kill her. He's like, I don't believe you. And so now he's going outside and he puts on the mask, and now we see him go out into the inverted world for the first time. And it is really cool.
Yeah. And who's to say that him going back is not what kept her alive? So, and it is. It is what it is.
That's the whole thing. And that's the thing about free will. I don't think free will exists, but there's no point in thinking about it. You just have to act like it does.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. Because no matter what you do, it's still going to be it.
As our kid once said.
So the wind is moving backward. The birds are flying backward. It's all really cool and surreal. The car's weird, but not, I don't know. He's like, damn, this car's hard to handle when I'm backward. So it goes and does a bunch of backward shit. And then it all ends up with, it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't, guys. It does not. And this isn't even the end. That's what's crazy. This isn't the end of the movie. How?
Because all of that results in him handing over the plutonium or handing over the piece of the amulet to Sator. And then Sator tries to light him on fire. But because it's an inverted fire, it actually freezes him. So he doesn't die. And he wakes up on a
second time in the movie. He wakes up after you think he's dead in a hospital bed or whatever.
And they're in a shipping container. I do love shipping containers.
I do too.
And they're on a shipping freighter that's going backward. I love the sight of the big shipping freighter going backward past the windmill farms. And it's just the most simple thing in the world of just film it and then just reverse the footage.
But
and
it's not.
Wow. The ship is not really going backward. They filmed the ship going forward and reversed the footage.
Why are you so sure?
Because you can't make waves go backwards.
You don't know that. I don't know. I don't understand where it stops and starts because, he made it very clear in the book you can't just reverse a frame. But he didn't say, he was talking about actors at the time, but he didn't just say, he said he made the car go backwards. How do you make it flip backwards?
Because you can have a stunt coordinator coordinate that. You can't coordinate a ship going backwards. Ships don't go backwards. Although they do in Titanic. They try to do that to avoid the iceberg.
Just change the sails. You get all the guys at the bottom that are rowing to go the other way.
So he's like, Neil, you were right. Sorry, I should have listened to you. I gave him the thing. I gave him the plutonium. Neil, tell me, who recruited you, Neil? Who recruited you to the Tenet?
A nice man.
And he's like, it can't possibly do you any good to know that right now. And he's like, all right, well, Neil, Katherine needs to know all this shit now. And he's like, but if she knows, then we'll have to kill her. And he's like, just tell her. Like, all right, well, there's 3 laws of thermodynamics, okay? And then now we learn about the algorithm. Oh, the algorithm. 9 pieces to the algorithm rendered into physical form. When assembled, it can invert the whole world.
Wow. Me the other way. I don't care.
If that happens, end of play. Everyone and everything that's ever lived is destroyed.
Fine.
And
Sounds
Elizabeth
good.
Debicki chimes in, including my son.
Anything to not be watching this movie anymore.
Including
Invert.
Tom Cruise and Bonnie the dinosaur.
Invert me. God, Jesus, invert me right now.
So
I just tried to do a Thanos snap and it didn't fucking work.
all right. So as they're getting close, the whole point is they need to travel back a week so that they can get to the Oslo airport so that they can go through the turnstile and start going regular ways. The closer they get to it, I think it's cool that John David Washington starts to notice, hey, my arm's bleeding for no reason. That's weird.
So I guess later I'm going to get hit in the arm.
Maybe, yeah. And they get there and he goes through the thing and then fights himself backwards. Oh, that was like Eminem Stan. It was you. It was me. I was fighting myself. Damn. And goes into the forward world. And now Robert Pattinson starts chasing him. And Robert Pattinson pulls off his mask. He's like, oh, it was you. Damn. And then backwards Robert Pattinson has taken backwards Elizabeth Debicki through the turnstile. And they start going forwards again. Okay. And I had this realization at this point in the movie. Is you know what maybe our problem is, you and I?
What?
Is we're not gamers. Because I think our son Sully is playing a lot of Mario games way beyond Mario whenever I stopped playing Mario. And so there's Mario Galaxy and there's like all sorts of weird shit with gravity. And it takes me a lot of time to get used to. And I think that, maybe if you grow up playing video games, this all seems more natural to you. Like physical mechanics seem more natural to you.
Well, we do have that in common. We are not gamers. Unless you count Minecraft, baby.
Or Dr. Mario for me. Andre Sator has the algorithm now, but they don't know where or when. We just need to figure out a way to figure out where he will be in time. And John David Washington's like, hold everything. I need to go see Priya again. Okay. Now, I've seen her once. I will see her again in one day. I need to have an intermediate meeting. I need to see her in between meetings, you see. So get her, you know how Mumbai's 10,000 miles that way? Get her to fly to Oslo and I'll meet her, okay? Meet her in Oslo. Hi, Priya. What's going on, Priya?
Because she knows stuff the whole time. Like she seems to him to be the one that knows everything. It's like, you could just ask Neil. Neil's right here. You could just ask Neil.
Nope, gotta ask Priya. And she starts lecturing him about Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project. She says, one day a scientist, a female scientist, the future is female, is going to invent inversion, is going to invent backwards stuff, you know? And she's like, think of her as the Oppenheimer of the future. And he's like, wow.
Because John David is a man, so the inverted him is a woman. And she's white.
And all dogs are boys and all cats are girls.
I know.
And so the scientist of the future, she invents the algorithm for inverting the world. But as soon as she finished inventing the algorithm, she's like, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, why did I do that? Damn it.
I can't unknow it. Shoot.
Decides this is going to destroy everything. So she breaks up the algorithm into 9 pieces, hides them in the 9 most secure facilities in the world.
How does
9
she
nuclear
get
powers.
into these 9 places? And no one's like, don't ask questions. What? Like, I gotta go to the next one, and now I've got to devise a scheme to get into here. I mean, she's like a fucking it's like a Roman myth or something. And then I scattered it to the 4 corners of the world.
That's true, and maybe you could read this as all of Tenet is they are doing it for this woman.
Yes, because she's not a fucking spy. She's a goddamn scientist.
Can you name the nuclear powers, Lacey? Go.
Russia.
Yep.
America.
Yeah. Hello, we've got some nuclear weapons, don't we?
UK.
Yeah.
China.
That's right.
How many are there?
We got the croissant and the nuclear
Germany.
bomb. No, not Germany. Who likes to smoke a cigarette and have a nuclear bomb?
France.
Yeah.
Is it also Japan?
No. Where does Priya live?
Oh, India.
India, yeah.
No, that's enough.
No, we got 6. I wanted you to get all of them. What's that pesky country that's always like that's led by
Ukraine.
Little Rocket Man? No.
Oh yeah, North Korea.
So that's 7.
So nothing in South America.
Who's India's next door neighbor? Pakistan, yes. And then the 9th country.
Well, I get no clues.
They're causing even more trouble.
Oh, Israel.
Yep. Yeah, good job. 9 nuclear powers. So she hid them in the 9. This woman was a very capable woman.
Scientist. Got a big travel budget.
Sator's lifelong mission has been to find and assemble all 9 because he was in the right place at the right time. And so, yeah. And he's like, listen, I handed over the 9th piece of the algorithm to Sator. So you're going to see me again tomorrow on that boat. Tell me not to do that. And she's like, no way. I'm not going to tell you shit because that's not how it works. You see, mister, we can't change things. What's happened has happened. And he's like, you want Sator to assemble the algorithm. And she's like, that's right. And he's like, I don't understand why.
To bring all the pieces together, you fucking simpleton.
But why?
So they could have them.
I don't get it.
And disperse. What do you mean? That's the simplest part of the fucking movie. The only reason for him to uncover the other 8 is because he's got the 9th. Because he wants to put them all together and go boom. Right? Their whole thing is they need all 9. He's got 8 of them. Now he's got the 9th one. Now they can get all 9 because he's got them all unhidden. What? That's the easiest part of this fucking thing.
No, just keep one hidden and it doesn't matter.
One person knowing where that one is makes that person a liability. You can't have a liability.
That's true. There's the whole thing about it. I mean, look, I fucking love the, like, you can't read this piece of paper and you'll die.
Right.
And the forbidden knowledge thing, or the like the John Carpenter movie In the Mouth of Madness. Everyone who reads this horror novel goes insane. Would you read that horror novel?
Turns gay.
Answer: yes, I would read. I'd have to read it.
Right. Okay.
So that's
all right. So now we're back in Blondie's on the boat, and I feel like she really wants to show someone her stomach. And I feel like she has it open for a while. Like she's like, I'm the bitch that got this, and she's like, look. You think my abdomen's healing okay? What do you think about my scar?
That's her version of him doing the hand symbol. Tenet anymore? Tenet?
Yeah, but she keeps it up, just like waits for Neil to come in. Yeah?
Does she keep it up, or is this just a freeze frame I've gotten?
No, it bothered me watching it. Like, okay, put your shirt down.
All right.
Put your shirt down.
How did Sator give this to her?
What do you mean? The bullet.
Oh, right. He shot her.
Fucking
That's how.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
because he shot her with a gun. All right. Well,
That'll do it.
Our three main friends are on a boat. They're going backwards again. They're going all the way back to the beginning of the movie. All right. Here's the thing about my husband, Sator. He's got a dead man switch. A dead man switch? A trigger man.
The trigger man. I am the
You
trigger.
notice how he's always looking at his Fitbit? That Fitbit, if his pulse stops, it'll trigger the trigger man.
There's the answer for the fucking pulse thing, Matt.
No, but that's...
Yes,
if
that's
my
why
pulse... That's,
he has a trigger in it. I'm sure he's obsessed with like what does make it go up, what makes it go down. I'd be pretty infatuated with it too.
well, I would hope the trigger
You know
is...
how our angel monitor would just malfunction and we'd think our baby was dead? We'd run up there. He's probably getting like false readings on that thing all the time, and it starts doing a countdown, and then he's like, "No, I'm alive."
I would hope the dead man switch would have a little bit of leeway of like, hey, if this gets to 120, give it some time. Don't immediately
It doesn't
stop. Don't worry.
It doesn't stop because it's high. It stops because it stops.
I know. So just make sure it stops for a while. Make sure it's not like, oh, my watch fell off.
But it's not his watch.
It's his Fitbit. Yeah.
No, it's in his chest. It's not his
You don't think it's in the little, it's.
No, I don't. The trigger man. I like that he's the trigger man.
So
Can we get a dead man switch?
sure. So they got this dead man switch. Whoa.
Now we know that piece of information.
And-
Would have been helpful before, bitch.
He has cancer, you see. Elizabeth Debicki says he wants the world to end. I mean, I like the way they present this.
I do, yeah. And of
it's
course, it's our chicken's coming home to roost. Plutonium gives people cancer. He should have cancer. He got rich off of it, but he also was the poor guy that was digging it. He is also the person that was exploited because of it, and he's going to die at an early age. That's fucked up. He didn't have to kill that guy with the shovel. He would have died soon too.
unlike the Odysseus's great grandfather of my future generations, they will be set up. I'm going to die early, but they'll be set up. He's like, no, fuck my descendants. Fuck everyone.
Mac's going to get cancer. They pass that shit on.
So, got cancer for the nuclear materials. They're going to have her go meet up with Sator on their Vietnam holiday that cost just a hair under $9 million. And during that time, they pretended to be happy with each other. And this will be the happy moment he will return to right as the world ends. He's going to choose the time of his own death and the end of the world.
Kind of sweet. It was nice of him to choose that moment.
And John David Washington. I just, wherever in the notes, because the character doesn't have a name, I just wrote JDW. JDW has the whole team going to Skulls 12 because there's going to be a nuclear test the same day as the Operacies, same day as the Vietnam holiday that cost $9 million. That's where the final dead drop's going to happen. That's where the algorithm is assembled. That's where the explosion's going to happen. That's where the world ends. They divide the teams in two, one inverted, one forward. Aaron Taylor Johnson giving them a briefing, informed by the inverted team already what they told us.
I feel like the
future.
movie gives up here. They're just like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I feel like you guys don't know what we're talking. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just saying some shit.
No, he definitely, he knows. And I'm sure
knows?
Nolan knows. He's in total control. I just think that this action set piece is kind of a failure. Because it's so impressive on a technical level. You know how fucking difficult, and they exploded all these buildings for real, and they're fucking incredible, but I can't track any of it. Temporal pincer movement. We got the red team that's going normal. We got the blue team that's going backwards. Now, Lacey, according to the Doppler theory, or the Doppler effect of light, electromagnetic waves, of course, shift blue as an object comes closer to the observer and red as it gets further away from the observer. Hence the red team and the blue team. It makes a lot of sense.
Then why don't they make lights on cars blue and red and not white and red? Stupids.
At the same time, Katherine is on the yacht in Vietnam. She's taken there by Himesh Patel. Don't let Sator die until you see me, Himesh Patel, shoot this flare gun.
They're a perfect fucking match. Kat and fucking JD Vance are a perfect goddamn, you know what I mean, JD Washington are a perfect match because they're both just want the thing they want more than they want the world to survive. But I just want to kill them. Can I just kill them?
Well, then she's also a perfect match for Sator.
Yeah.
I just want the world to
They
end.
deserve each other. Yeah, they're a real Tenet. Fuck.
So this is when we pretended to love each other, but this is also, we were having such a nice fake conversation.
A real satyr. A real I'm making hand motions. I'm coming up with some stuff.
And if you're not on the YouTube, you gotta check this out.
Okay.
When we fake liked each other, that's when I saw this is the perfect moment. Hey, will you grant me a divorce and full custody of my child, please? And he's like, no, you bitch.
I thought you were going to say you want my sausage, my papiska.
So they had that conversation, and he's like, yeah, I'll let you go if you relinquish custody of your child forever. And the reason I hate myself is that he could see in my eyes that I considered it for a second, but then realized, no, I'm a devoted mother and a good woman. But now they're both from the future, but they're pretending like they're from the past to each other, which I think is cool.
That is cool.
And he's like, baby, I'm sorry for what I said. It was just a bad joke. And she's like, I know. Let's just enjoy each other and give some sunscreen to each other. Yes. And he says, Max should be here with us.
Vodka. She's speaking his language. Vodka.
Vodka?
From the old country.
And maybe it could be delivered in a vessel?
Mm-hmm. I just got it.
Tonight will be beautiful sunset. Max should watch it with us. He's talking about the nuclear apocalypse that's coming. We should all watch the nuclear together.
No, I think he just remembers that the sunset's good because he's already seen it.
I know, and I know that he's going to die, and that's what'll trigger nuclear war or whatever. But it's also, you could also read it as what I said. So she's like, here, let me go spray off the deck or whatever. And he's like, one moment for phone call, and gets on the phone.
Look, you son of a fucking bitch, I'm going to talk to you so sexy right now for such a long time. And if your fucking grandchildren's children are good, he's having the weirdest work call.
Yeah, because this is John David Washington on the other end of the call, who's deep in the bunker and getting close to the dead man's, or to the nuclear bomb or whatever. And this is like the Marion Cotillard knife speech. Like, this is where I stick the knife in you, Bruce.
This is going a little long.
When you die, your knowledge dies with you, like anonymous builder, Egyptian tomb, and on and on. The knife that stabs deepest is knife you don't wish. There's like a dead soldier on the ground, and then he springs up and saves John David Washington. They get the nuke.
He's making that face at the little orange, the little thing that indicates that your backpack is Neil's backpack, whatever the backpack he's looking at has the orange thing on it. Fine. But why would he make a face at that orange little tab before he knows it means it's Neil's? I think that means that it was in the scene with the pill. Like, we must have seen that backpack before, way in the beginning.
We see it in the opera.
Yeah. Neil.
Uh-huh.
What? That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That he's been here this whole time.
Yes.
This is the move. They just keep doing this over and over again. I'm right.
They're not doing it over and over again.
I'm right.
It's intercut with the satyr and cat being nice to each other, but then she's like, I'm going to rub some sunscreen on your back. And as she's doing that, she's like, fuck this. I can't do this. You're a disgusting goblin person. You're gross. And then she says, look in my eyes. What do you see? Despair or anger? And then she opens up her shirt and shows him, this is where you shot me with an inverted bullet, you bastard.
Because he knows he said that to her, but she shouldn't know he said that to her yet. And when he does, like, whoa, it's past you is smarter you, and it's not past you.
And what's great, here's Nolan's great editing, is it takes him a second to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
No! And she shoots him like a dog.
And
I fucking love her pushing him off, sliding him over the deck, and then pushing him over, hits his fucking head like Fabrizio in Titanic.
He hits his back too. I think it's important that he doesn't hit his head because he doesn't die yet, and that's what's implied is that he dies in the water.
Well, then he hits his back like Fabrizio.
He hits his back like Fabrizio.
And right before she dives off the yacht, love this, takes a swig of vodka. Mm-hmm. Right before she dives off the thing, and then sees her former self.
She's got to not just swim to the boat, she has to pull his body. Mm-hmm. So she's really out of it when she gets there.
And her former self sees her and, I had envy for myself. And Ives and the protagonist make it out just in time because they're getting towed like water skiers by Neil. And that's intercut with Himesh Patel towing Kenneth Branagh's dead body. Wow, perfect symmetry. It's like Tenet.
It is just like that movie Tenet.
Now these three guys, they're standing together and they're like, well, we've all agreed to kill ourselves now that we have the algorithm assembled.
Did we really want to do that, everybody? Were we all thinking...
But like Doc Brown in the first Back to the Future, I figured, what the hell? So we'll each take 1/4 portion of the thing and we'll go our own ways. But then Neil's like, hey man, actually I got to go back down there on the next pass. The dead person was me. It was me, Eminem, and I got to go die. And then Protagonist is like, but Neil, who recruited you? I need to know who recruited you. Like, David, I don't know.
The guy with the mole?
Haven't you figured it out, man? Mate, you did in the future. Years ago for me, years from now for you. And now John David Washington is crying. He's like, you've known me for years? For me, I think this is the end of a beautiful friendship. For you, it's just the beginning. We get up to some stuff. You're going to love it. You'll see. Now, this is very subtle. He says the end of a beautiful friendship. Mm-hmm. That's actually a reference to Casablanca.
Oh, that is so subtle.
1942.
I've heard
Listen
of it.
to one of our older episodes, I think episode 102, where we can sort of give you more context for that line.
Little known line.
And so now later, Kat is picking up her son from school. Finally, she gets to pick her up. But Priya's right outside there. It's her job to take care of loose ends. It's like, do it. Take the shot. But John David Washington gets in the car and he's like, sorry, Priya, I'm here to tie up you. You're a loose end. And she's like, how do you know? And he says, because I'm doing a temporal pincer movement. Haven't you realized? I wasn't working for you. We've both been working for me. I'm the protagonist.
Stupid.
And in voiceover, Neil is talking about the bomb that doesn't go off. That's the bomb with the real power to change the world. And the score here really resembles the score that's playing at the end of Oppenheimer. It's very interesting. And we watch our Kat and her son walk off together, and we got a lot to chew on. We got the bomb that doesn't go off. There is still time to save the world. Give a Pepsi to a cop.
Put a flower in a gun.
And stop the bomb. We can do it.
We can do it, guys.
So final thoughts and star ratings on Tenet.
3 gets a 3. Fuck it. Fuck this fucking movie.
I've always given this movie 3.5 stars.
Are you giving me a pincer? You're pincering me?
We've now made the rule that we can't give 3.5 stars. We can give any other rating, but not 3.5.
I would have gone 3.5.
So I have to choose between 3 or 4. And I so admire this movie's ambition.
Pussy.
No, I'm going to give it a 3 because I find it ultimately a frustrating experience, but I'm really grateful for this movie. I think it's so interesting. I think it looks great. I like the performances. I love the score so much. And ultimately, I think it's an unsuccessful
attempt at something very interesting. Yes.
And again, would so like this movie so much more than most other blockbusters that come out.
Of course, I wouldn't be upset I saw it. It makes you think. It makes you talk. There's conversation afterward. Nothing worse than a movie that gives you nothing to chew on, that's in and out. I mean, I love a comedy, but the comedies I like the most are the ones where there's like something I'm going to quote later. Because you don't know when you're watching something like, oh, that's going to be a quote, you know? But like those are the ones that fucking stick. This movie is only friction.
Yeah.
So it's achieving something. I'm not enjoying it, but I do respect it.
Can't wait for Oppenheimer, and so much in common with this movie, and that will conclude the summer of Nolan when we do Oppenheimer next week. Very sad, very sad. Patreon.com/OneWeekRental for 2 bonus episodes every month, including episodes about Insomnia, Dunkirk, and The Odyssey. And follow us on Letterboxd, Matt Stokes 9, Letterboxd, Loadbring Lacey, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, and my band is called Rural Route 9. We do the music for 1 Week Rental. My throat is so hoarse, I've been talking for so long. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, you know me. I love you. Bye.